All right. Welcome, everybody. Saturday night. Welcome to the pub. All right. Cool. Just got myself a nice lemonade. And we'll go ahead and silence that because that can be annoying. All kinds of notifications come in on Saturday night. Got a new little shelf up there for some rolling papers. Very small shelf. All right. Welcome to the pub, everyone. Last dance. Amy, how are you? Great to see you. No stream link? Did I forget to put that in the description? Huh. I think I can do that right now. Somebody clarify. Did I miss the link in the description? Copy. Yo, Derek, what up? No link. Son of a bitch. All right, let me see if I can do this real quick, guys. All right. Tell me if that link pops up on YouTube. I don't know if I can do it retro after the stream starts, but I just tried. If not, we're going to have to put it in the description. Nope, I'm back, Amy. Link is there now. Whoop, whoop. I did something. But yeah, amateur hour. Sorry. I got to, get it out on all the socials that the pub is happening. And sometimes I obviously screwed the pooch on the link. Thanks, Georgie. What's up, brother? I'd like to too as well. I did set up around 3:30 this afternoon, so I missed the link. And I usually get the link, so what the hell are you going to do? That's life. There's always a little something. And we are on British summertime now, BST. So let me just get back to addressing everybody here. Sammy Cat. I am good, Amy. Yeah, we're getting towards the warm weather here, right? So let's be positive and happy and think about that, and don't let any of this shit bring you down. It's the way I like to look at it this time of year. The world is a beautiful place. There might be some crazy things going on, but try to do the best with what you have, right? Hey, what's up? Not as we know it. Good to see you, man. I think you're Mr. Scotland. I'm not sure. Somewhere up there. Maybe Britain, I believe. Somewhere over there in the Isles. But yeah, good to have everyone here. It's Saturday night. I'm just rolling up a couple numbers to get started. I could do a tune. Yeah, look at that. The windows are gone. Much more room back there. We had to move the windows out of here because the windows were blocking all my tools. In order to install said windows, I need the tools. So we did some tidying to get prepped for the window project. Hope to have all 7 of them in a couple of weekends. Going to trim them out, do the whole 9 yards. A new AZAC trim. For all you people who don't know, AZAC is like a rigid plastic trim I'm going to use. It's never rots, holds paint forever. It's far superior to wood and about twice the price. Final Four. Yep. Right on. Always some good competition there for the college kids. And seen some great bangers over the years. I'm just not into it anymore. The college basketball, even though, I tell you, some of those endings, man, they are heart stoppers. They're unbelievable. 3-pointers, half quarters, just crazy shit. If you're a basketball guy, you're crazy not to watch the Final Four for sure. It's just good competition, good old collegiate competition. And I know you like that, George. Young kids playing for the pure sport of it, none of the money. Although that changed now in this country, at least, college athletes can get paid for their name and likeness. So you had some kids getting a couple $100,000, like the Subway, the sub shop, sandwich shop, Subway. I think they paid a couple $100,000 to an athlete or two. I would say they're clearly trying to pick the ones that are going to go, obviously, to the pros and then maybe continue the endorsement. But yeah, I'd like to hear that if you guys are for college athletes getting money or against it and just have them play for the pure sport of it. Problem is here, somebody's making money off of the kids, and it's the colleges. So it's a cost, it's a profit to who generates the profit question. Obviously the athletes and the coaches do. The coaches get paid handsomely, the athletes do not. So they can get name and likeness now, which is at least some endorsements. You're for it. Cool. Last Dance. Yeah, I hear you. It's not like they give the damn tickets away. They charge you to get in and see it, and the universities get paid a lot of money by whoever happens to be airing the game. Correct, Amy. Yeah, I mean, that's it. The TV stations pay them for the rights to air the game. People pay for tickets. There's advertising involved. So there's hundreds of millions of dollars in the industry. And for the athletes to get nothing is, I think, a little bit ridiculous. They need to definitely pay the athletes. Yeah, everyone seems on board. Agreed. Yeah. All right. We got maybe one more number here to roll up. As I always like to mention, last evening, our buddy Random Goon had a very nice and lively stream on his Twitch channel where he plays guitar and he takes requests, and it's really a lot of fun. Random Goon is the name of the channel. And I always give that dude a plug or two because he's great. It's a good time there. And he did some bangers last night, I'll tell you. Oh, what was that? Fucking Rock Candy Mountain. Fucking Last Dance played one from his childhood. I think it was from 1898. Rock Candy Mountain was the title of the song. And it was a strange, off-time, folk-style guitar with weird count, weird tempo. It was classic. That's what you're there for. Could be going from Megadeth to Rock Candy Mountain, one song to another, and it's cool. It's eclectic. It's different. I loved it. All right, having a little vodka and sugar-free iced tea. I'm sorry, lemonade. So should go down pretty good. Put up some new shelves today. Very excited. Yeah, he's game for all of it. That's right. He loves to play everything, man. I'd say the thing he's least game for is the stuff that he may or may not have much of a chance for achieving. But John, I'm not the right guy to ask about the new Batman movie. I haven't seen it, but I'd love to hear anybody's opinion about it. Anyone here who's seen it? Not sure. Probably not. But, dude, I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't comment. I've heard mostly from what I've heard from people who have seen it was that it was terrible. So um, you could certainly clarify about that. But I haven't seen it. Sorry, my man. So I can't speak. There you go, Amy. Not as good as Christian Bale. Okay. Okay, John, what is this? How do you Facebook portal to work with the program you use for this? Well, this is StreamYard, and you would have to link your StreamYard up to your Facebook account, which I know you can do because I could choose to broadcast this on, I don't know, like Hayden or Graham's Facebook, what do they call it? Feed, I guess. And I'm sure from there you could just click it to your portal, but it's all a matter of linking it up to various different accounts. And it's definitely curious. Yeah, possible. Sorry, I read a comment and was trying to have a thought at the same time, and I combined the two. Interesting, John. That I can't go further with you, man. Yeah, Will Smith's wife. I don't know. Like I tweeted out, I think it was a bitch move by Will Smith. I think it was it wasn't a great joke. I'm not psyched that a woman got made of her looks for a medical condition. Yeah, you should have skipped that joke. Simple. But there was a movie maker sitting nearby. I think he was a Spaniard fella, and he said it was the most ridiculous thing that he couldn't believe. He said he thought that Will Smith seemed like a cult leader, the way that he was describing protecting his family and crying his eyes out. It just seemed off. It was an interesting take on it. I know Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a interesting take on it as well. I haven't found too many people that have sided completely 100% with Will Smith, but I know they're out there. And like I said before, I just don't think that if you're at an awards show where, let's face it, Ricky Gervais has said far more damning things about people, more off-color jokes than that one. But if you're at a place like that, you kind of have to expect it, I would think. Yeah, it was probably his father on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, big bald guy. I would think, or maybe it was his uncle. Uncle Phil, I think, was his name, not father. Uncle. Here you go, Blind Fury. I don't know. I think Rock should have evaded or blocked or gotten the hell out of the way. I mean, he had plenty of time, but what do I know? He played it cool. He brushed it off. He took it like Jesus, basically, as they say, or as I just said. Yeah, he does. He does, Amy. Chris Rock does make fun of everyone. That's part of comedy, as well as Ricky Gervais, and it goes back to Archie Bunker. I don't know if you Brits are familiar with him, but yeah, he had some very, very racist content on national TV on at 8 p.m. at night. Now, granted, this was the 1970s, different times, but people laughed at it because it was all jokes. It wasn't meant to hurt people. And, I don't think that Chris Rock certainly intended to hurt anybody's feelings or degrade somebody's disease, but that's how he took it. That's how the husband took it. The Fresh Prince. Correct, John. They don't. Absolutely, two wrongs don't make a right. It's a fucking joke at an awards ceremony. That's all I think, you know. Yeah, All in the Family. There you go. One of the most famous episodes had Sammy Davis Jr. and I think he kissed Archie on the cheek or on the lips, and a really funny scene, man. Really good stuff. All stages for Chris Rock, new tour this week. Yeah, not sure what you mean by all stages, but he played in Boston. Was his first show after the Oscars, and I guess he really didn't address the situation very much with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But you know, honestly, it's fucking. I'm so over it, and I don't believe that it was a. I don't believe it was staged. All staged, not all stages. I understand. He's just not mentioning it, and I've heard a lot of behind the scenes interviews about it. I don't think it was staged. You respect that? Yeah, I guess. It was an open-handed, weak arm slap. Yeah, it sold out. Chris Rock's tour sold out. They were selling tickets for like 3 times the list price at the show in Boston, not far from here, about 30 miles or so. So yeah, he definitely got publicity about it. I'm not denying that much. And I don't know, the guy who produced it, another thing, it was the first time it was ever produced by an African American producer, and you know, he was kind of pissed that happened. Yeah, there you go, John. And let's not forget the point that if it was Joe Rogan up there, or Jason Momoa, or not Chris Rock, but The Rock, or any one of a number of other guys that you might have an inkling can know how to defend themselves. Obviously, Joe Rogan is an absolute badass. He might not be as big as those other dudes, but he's got one of the greatest spinning back kicks that you have ever seen. He will break your ribs. It's fucking crazy. The guy is really something else when it comes to fighting. But clearly, Chris Rock, not a fighter, you know. So pick a black guy who like Terry Crews. Is that dude's name who does the Old Spice commercials? If he made the joke, he might have taken it, but I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. I just thought it was a bitch move all around myself. You'll have to. I missed that one's going over my head. Last Dance. Let me skip back a little bit here. Terry Crews, right? A second slapper. Cup of tea. She was having sex with their son's friend inside the house, who he was like in his early 20s. Apparently they had an open relationship. It's well known, and it's online. You can find the kid's name and everything. Yeah. You can be rest assured that Will Smith didn't care that his wife was getting fucking banged, but don't talk about her disease. No, hey, you know, to each their own. Once again, I still, regardless of whether he's a cuck or he's having guys bang his wife or whatever, I still, if he didn't have any of that stuff, I still would find his response inappropriate. All right, John. Yeah, it was, and that was something that dude was proud of. And he did. I don't know. I don't watch those shit fucking shows, anyways, man. Bunch of fucking assholes, if you ask me. But you guys know me. I'm not a movie guy, and those pretentious fucking Hollywood celebrity motherfuckers. Fuck them. There's only a few that I like, and most of them aren't there. Oh, I invented a new roach clip. I didn't invent it, but it's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, we got ourselves a pair of tweezers, clean, of course, and like one of those clippy things. I don't even know what they're called, but pretty slick. And it'll stand like this when I set it down, and the joint's up in the air, like away from everything. It goes out on its own. Huh? Eh? Oh, and I got Bon Jovi up and running again, so we'll have that, which is nice. Although I'm not a big bong guy, I really like papers. I don't like smoking through glass. Papers, better. Haha, Georgie. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not really much to do there besides coordinate everything and hand out some awards. Right. Remember those old roach clips that had like feathers and shit hanging off of them? Remember I bought some of those at a fair with when my older sister saw them. She was like, "Get those off. You know what those are?" And I was like, "No, what? They look cool. They're like feathers." Yeah, it is out of Cheech and Chong. I had these goofy feather things on my jean jackets. I didn't know they were roach clips. And I've also got another one here, the old Kelly clamp. You guys familiar with these? Has the, like pressure lock, I guess you'd call it. And that's for like cinching off something before you're going to cut it and cauterize it. Or, you guys can figure out what that is. Hey, Lee, how are you? I was burning my fingertips, man. So I had to come up with an idea. And everything was right here. I was like, oh, shit. There, this, that, boom, boom. And like, unbelievable. The midget skateboarder. Now that's funny, but thank you, though, John. I'm sure he appreciates it. To take hookers out? Oh, out of the fish. Yeah, hooks. I got you. Yeah, I use a hook puller, which is a nice, handy little tool that I've got. I think you have to fish the fish I fish. You have to have a hook puller on you when the fucking environmental police come and ask you for your license. You have to have a legitimate hook puller. You can't be using no pliers to rip the fish's face off. You have to use this proper tool to get the hook out, because it's called a slot fish here, which is the fish that you catch, striped bass particularly, are 28 to 35 inches are keepers. Smaller or bigger have to be sent back. Forceps, there you go. Have I tried vaping weed, John? Yeah, not. I'm a flower guy, dude. I've tried vaping. I tried the other end of it with those concentrates like dabs and wax and shit like that, where you use a torch and heat the bowl up and drop the fucking shit in, and big smoke bomb or whatever. It's not for me. I'm old school. I just like the flower. Disgorger, interesting. Okay, cool. Smooth. Yeah. Do we need this extra light? I don't think so. Use the old school one. And I'm definitely, the new camera is coming soon, and I'm going to redo all the cocktails with the new camera starting this spring. Better audio, better video. Volcano, cool. Is that the kind when you have the bags that you fill with the vapor? That's old school. Is that the kind that you need the bags for? Cup? I've seen that. Some Canadian guys I watch on YouTube were just doing that. Urban Remo, great channel. He does. Right now he's at Spanibus, which is I guess a huge cannabis conference in Spain, and he's been doing live content, not live content, but new content from there daily. Sub and like all of his stuff. Sub his channel, Urban Remo. He's from BC, I think, or Vancouver. Legendary Canadian cannabis activist, grower, whatever you want to say. But yeah, check him out. Very cool. It is the kind with the bag. Yeah, they were, I think they were doing volcanoes with hash, this sticky brown, beautiful hash, and they were filling up the bags with hash vapor. Maybe it was weed. I can't remember, but it was pretty cool. It might be, John. I'm kind of a taste guy. I like the taste of a well-cured, nice bud, rolled up, you know. Ooh. Roach clips. See? Look at that. Thing is tiny. And it's still rolling, baby. All right, I think I'm down to just paper. She gets you high, man. All right, that's enough. All right, still working out the kinks on the roach clip, but not bad. Love this thing. Got 2 more to go, and then, or maybe Bong Jovi next. I can't remember who named it Bong Jovi, but one of the best off-the-cuff names. Somebody came up here on the pub for the bong. Epic. Well played, sir. Well, should I try and butcher a song? As if I couldn't have picked a harder one this week. Weird key. Lots of, but whatever. I could do the song later. It is around 6:30 here, which is usually when we start firing up the crew. Let's get that open a little. Adidas, all day I dream about sex. Yeah, that's a song by Killer Mike as well. I don't know if you know that, Andrew, but it's a good song. All day I dream about. All day I dream about sex. Oh, good tune. Actually, Killer Mike has a podcast called Trigger Warning. Funny enough, all of us OG guys, crew here, came from negative on that one, Lee. Oh, we come from a place. One of its names is the Trigger Warning crew. In fact, this is right on the. Oh, this is the alt feed page, but it's Trigger Warning on Twitch. There you go. Yeah, it's a good song. But don't leave, Andrew. Welcome. Good to see you, buddy. I wonder if you're the Andrew that I know. I know one young Andrew who's a cool kid, but I don't think you're him. There are more than like 1 or 2 Andrews out there. That would be some funny shit, cup of tea, dude. If I had that beat ready to go in the background and I did the whole rap, now that would have been fucking legendary, guy. Damn. No way I could pull that off now, dude. That would have been talk about fucking off the wall. Hell yeah. Or if I redid it as like a country song, damn. Deacon Blue, Dignity? No, I don't know it, dude. But yeah, hey, look who it is. What do you say? Should I do a quick tune? Last Dance? Thumbs up? Yeah. All right. All right. Let's see if you can pick this one up. God save me. You know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. 'Cause I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me I've done all I can. See, I beg, borrowed, and I borrowed. Yeah, that's why I'm easy. Yeah. I'm easy like Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Yeah. I'm easy like Sunday morning. All right, that's it. Great tune. I love it. We're back. All right. Yeah, there you go. Cup of tea. He's like Will Smith's wife. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I know. I wish I had a band and do it the way that Faith No More does it. They do a killer version of that song. Oh, we're already right. Sorry. And that's an original song by the Commodores, I do believe. Actually, probably a legitimate band from some of the guys here whose childhoods, not Rock Candy Mountain. But speaking of which, let's bring on Mr. Last Dance.
Big Rock Candy Mountain, yeah.
There you are. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks, man.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be ready for that one.
That was tough. Like, I was thumbing along the guitar, and they hold some of the verses longer and shorter than the others. You basically have to know the song intricately to know the timing because it doesn't line up. But he's reading it off of tabs, so he's definitely got that going, which is good though. But that was killer. It's a good night.
Yeah, but that definitely was the oldest song that was played in that right. Stream.
Yeah, you'd have to go back into like classical era or extremely early folk to get any older than that. That's like, I don't know of any older folk than that in at least American music, right?
It's very old. It's what I joked when I said it's from the 90s, the 1890s.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we could get them with an old one, like an Irish drinking song, maybe.
Well, a lot of the folk music traces you could, if you're an expert, you could trace it back to Ireland and
Oh yeah,
wherever. It goes back forever.
as well as moonshining.
Yep.
Scotland and Ireland, a lot of those immigrants moved to West Virginia and the Carolinas and Tennessee and all of that,
Yep.
and they brought that with them. And you know, the only reason it's illegal is because it takes revenue away from you know who.
That's right.
Like the old days, they used to say, "Watch out for the revenue man. He's going to come and get you." You know,
That's
he'll
right.
bring you in for federal charges. And,
Revenuer.
right? It's like old school, but it sucks. I think that it should be legal. Moonshine and myself, you know.
Well, people do their own home brews for beer.
Brews, that's legal,
It is legal. I mean,
but hard alcohol is not.
I know, but nobody's going to. As long as you do it for yourself and you don't like stealthily sell it on the black market, I think you could. I don't think you have to worry about it.
Make a few gallons like every couple of months or whatever, you know.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I know a dude who is kind of does everything by the books, and he was a big fan of that show Moonshiners. So he called up like the ATF and said, "What do I need to make alcohol?" And they were like, "Oh, that's easy. You need like 5,000 to 10,000 square foot facility with full fire protection, and you have to be licensed. The license is like $7,000 to $15,000.
You need $1 million. That's what you need.
Yeah, and then I'm like, dude, you know, you're on a list now. If they're gonna look for anyone,
Right.
you actually called them and asked. You know,
Exactly. Big mistake. You should have had a friend call.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have called for him, Steve.
Yeah, I have done plenty of research online. It's so much so that like I found these companies that make stills, and they're like, in plain writing, our stills are only for like distilling herbs and making tinctures and things like that in a holistic sense, not for making alcohol. And then it says like in bold letters, making alcohol is illegal under federal law, you know. And then it'll say kind of, but we can't control what you do with our book,
Exactly.
you know.
And by the way, people often buy this book with the still.
Exactly.
The book is How to Distill Grains for
Right.
for your own fun and enjoyment.
Yeah. Now here in Massachusetts, radar detectors and laser detectors are illegal to use in a traveling vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But they're totally legal to buy and bring them right in, have them delivered to your house. You can own them, but it's just you're not allowed to use them. So I guess you can get a ticket if you're caught with one on, but that's ambiguous. So if you just shut it off, can you still get the ticket? You know,
Who knows? You know, nobody ever challenges. When they get a ticket, nobody ever challenges. A lot of these laws nobody challenges them because they don't want to risk getting a worse fine, and the
Right.
cops are happy because nobody challenges their right to do it. You know, it used to be. I don't know if you remember. You know, we used to. If you saw a cop, sometimes people would like flash their lights at you.
I still do that.
Still do that. Well, the
Yeah.
cops started ticketing people that they caught doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody challenged it. And somebody said, you know, this is just communication. It's my First Amendment right. And somebody challenged it, and the court said, you can't give him a ticket for flashing the lights. That's totally protected speech.
Right. But my thing is, I do it as well as if there was like an accident or something, I'm flashing lights so people will already be prepared. There's a cop here, but then they see the lights or the accident, then they're still like on their toes. You know, it's kind of like
that's a legitimate reason, but
I definitely do it for speed traps, especially if I see someone driving fast. I'm like, I'll totally warn them, you know, because I could be that guy. So,
yep,
a little bit of karma there, you know.
I don't know if you ever use the Waze app, but it has a ability it'll show where cops are if other people mark their location as they pass them by.
We've used it like when we go on vacation. I'll download it if I'm in Florida or something, you know, because I'm out of state. But I would never keep that on my phone up here. I've found no matter what you do, that drains your phone. Like it's always constantly looking, even if the app's shut off. It's like I noticed my phone dying with that thing. Um, so
Yeah, I I use. I mean, I only keep it on when I'm driving,
yeah, I
and then
use
I.
Google Maps, which is always there, anyways, and it seems
Yeah,
completely adequate.
my daughter prefers Google Maps. I prefer Waze. Google owns both the companies, though.
Hmm,
Obviously, Google owns Google Maps, but they also own the Waze company.
yeah, I mean, with Waze, you see on the thing it says debris on the side of the road. Then you're driving along, going, "Where's the debris? Where's the debris? Oh, there's the debris! I found it!" Like
Right,
it
right.
fucking warns you about everything. Which is kind of cool, like you say, but it can. I think it can be a little distracting, and I think it does chew up the battery. But it's fun. It's cool.
It does. Of course, I keep my phone plugged into a car power adapter, so it
Right.
doesn't really bother me.
Mhm.
But I mean, I like it. Every once in a while, there'll be an accident on the route I take, and I hate to get stuck in it. Whereas Waze will warn you and route you around it,
Sure.
so it can save a lot of time.
Hmm. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, if it's fast enough, like Google Maps tries to do that, but if you're already past, like, say, the last exit, sometimes you're
Yeah,
kind of screwed. You can't get around it. But yeah, that's definitely
I mean, we've all been
important.
there where there's you could see the accident right, a quarter of a mile ahead, and it's just you just can't get out of it. Basically,
Exactly.
you're stuck in traffic until they clear
Right. Yippo. No, I know we got it now. Typo. That makes sense. Storm.
it. Yippo
Yippo.
is the new typo.
Right. That's funny. You typo Yippo for typo on purpose. Typo Yippo.
So you having a good week?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's been eventful, but achieved a lot of. I solved a problem that I had run into about 4 years ago at my job that we sort of fixed regarding a particular exhaust on a furnace, and it reared its ugly head and came up with a whole design to rerun a new exhaust in a whole different area, and it worked out. And the thing's just purring like a kitten now. We're not dealing with that long run and all the different things that happen inside of a pipe with condensation, and it disrupts the flow of air. So the furnace can be very finicky because of the way it has all these sensors and shit in it trying to stop for carbon monoxide leaks. So we achieved a far better flow, much shorter run, and it's just good, to have that finally gone from having to worry about it. One of the
Sounds like
problems.
it was a satisfying solution.
Mhm. It was funny back when this stuff all started. I had come up with this idea then, but I wasn't in charge. Then the guy retired and I took his position. And now that it came back, I immediately knew exactly. I was like, yep, that thing I came up with 4 years ago, we're doing it. We're running it right here. Most of it was outside of a person's living area in the common areas. So I like getting the pipe done, and then I can box it in with sheetrock and make it look beautiful, fire code, all that shit, and paint it. And when I'm done with it, it'll look like it's been there since the building was built. It's just going to be a little soffit in a hallway. Um, Worked out good, man. Psyched.
Yeah, I told you I had this outlet problem, and I had guessed that a wire had come out of an outlet somewhere. They stick them in those little spring clips in the back of
Stab
the
stab
stab.
connectors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
those fail. You always use the
yep.
screw on the side.
Well,
Always.
you know, so I looked at every outlet I thought that was on this circuit because I thought they were all in the kitchen and I couldn't find one. So I hired an electrician and he comes in and of course he sensibly doesn't believe anything the homeowner says because he's experienced that homeowners think they know everything and don't know. And about a half an hour after trying to figure it out, he goes into the dining room and realizes those outlets are also on the same circuit.
Uh,
And sure enough, one of them has had the wire pop out of the back. So I had the right diagnosis, but I just didn't know where the damn outlets where
Yeah.
all of them were.
So he just changed that one outlet.
He just wired it into the screws instead of stabbing it, into the back.
Kept the old outlet.
He kept the old outlet, yeah.
$2. I mean, whatever. If it works, it works. As long as
it works.
when you put a plug in it, it's rigid. So like really old outlets, like the plug barely sits in there, and it's kind of like loose as the metal starts to loosen up inside.
Yeah, well, I usually replace them if it starts to fall out. I replace them, and
Right.
I always wire screw it to the screw instead of using the stab
Right.
things in the back.
Now, with the screw, like, you know how to put it on there. This is rudimentary electrical 101, but if the screw is on one side, to tighten it, you're on the right side, you tighten it obviously like this. You're turning it to the right. The hook of the wire goes over the top. So as you're tightening it, you're pulling the wire further around the screw. So it switches on the left side of the outlet when you're looking at them.
That much I did figure out eventually after doing it wrong a couple times.
Yeah, because as you start to tighten it, if it's backwards, it'll kind of push the wire off of the screw. So
yeah,
that's one of the first early ones I learned.
There's more expensive outlets that they have this little sandwich thing that you can put the wire straight in, and the metal clamps sandwich it in, and you screw it down.
Those are usually the 20 ampers. They're a little better.
Yeah.
And those are nice. It's just a straight strip. You don't have to bend it at all. Push it in, tighten that sucker down, and you're done,
Yeah.
And I have seen in the old days where guys would put wires in the stab connectors on the back and on the screws on the side, as sort of like if you have them almost using it like a gang box with multiple wires coming in and out of it.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Have to kind of pull it apart and find out which is your hot wire and start from scratch when you're redoing those kind of outlets.
Yeah. Well, that was $125 I paid, but to be honest, I was sick of, I spent hours trying to figure it out, and this guy had it solved in an hour. So
there you go.
I was glad to have someone solve the problem for me.
Teflon tape, I don't know anything about that, but
Topple.
I know you tried to say way, but the correct was to wrap. I could tell you the correct way to spell way if you want. Come on, buddy.
Now you're gonna piss him off.
No, well, he's busting my balls. I'm just giving it back. He knows that. He's the king ball buster. Dude, me and my buddies, all we ever did was bust balls when we were probably his age, our 30s, And eventually you just get too old for it. Like I'm too lazy to even call them about anything now. So like just call them and bust their balls and hang up, that wouldn't really be any good. You'd have to actually have a conversation now, Yeah, on new outlets, stab connections are fine. You're right. But I'm a screw guy. I like to screw. I'm a screwer. You follow me?
Yep.
Screwball. What did it? Come on there. I think Top's got definitely a lot of electrical and HVAC skills.
Yep.
He would probably have been right at home doing what I was doing this week with running a flue for a gas appliance.
Like doing some yard work today. Nice outside, about 55, sunny out, so very comfortable to get out and mess around clearing out the beds, which takes forever. What else happened? It was a pretty uneventful week. A friend of mine, I don't want to get into too much details, but he's got into some legal trouble. And very upsetting to see him have to go through this.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. So you don't just take a rototiller to the beds and
no,
send it all back down to Mother Nature and let it
No, I don't. That would be more effort than I'm willing to put in.
I hear you.
But There's some flowers back there. There's more beds than I have the patience to maintain.
Sure.
Basically, I've debated whether to get rid of them or to just put grass up there. Or
Are they raised beds
they are raised.
with timbers around the outside or something?
There's timbers on the outside, and those are, these beds they're 25 years old now, if
So
not more.
we're thinking about doing some of those. So literally, I'm just going to get some pressure treated 2x12s or whatever, bury them level in the garden, and then fill them with soil, right? And the roots then grow through the raised bed down into the soil underneath, right? That's what you want. You wouldn't put weed mat down.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people usually they pay someone to put out tons of mulch every year because to keep the weeds down. But the weeds are a big issue, obviously.
But what we're going to do is we get, say, those 2x12s, get them level. We're going to go to the dump, which they have a big, beautiful pile of soil that's like the size of 5 houses, because there's the brush pile, which is massive brush pile, and then the leaf pile, and then they slowly keep like shifting it along in this direction as it decomposes towards the soil pile. And they're like, just tell you, bring your truck in and take as much. And the soil is like black, dude. Looks beautiful.
That's good stuff.
People say you can grow right in it. I know it's going to be loaded with nitrogen, so just be careful because you don't want to burn everything. But I figure we just fill the 2 rectangles with that stuff and go to town. And as long as I stay on the weeding every year, especially in the spring, pull everything out that I don't want there, it should be fine, theoretically.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, we've got very sandy soil here, and we've tried to improve the beds with better soil, but it's still pretty darn sandy. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to grow anything expensive. Some flowers is all I'm hoping for it.
If you I'm surprised you don't grow some veggies, man.
I don't get enough sun.
Okay.
It's
big trees.
Yeah, it's annoying. We tried tomatoes. They just don't.
Yeah, they like a ton of sun and breeze.
They're very picky. Nothing really grows very well, unfortunately.
Well, if you ever are looking for a good soil amendment, earthworm casings are awesome. Buy them by like a 15-pound bag would be probably like $1 a pound, so $15. You could. It's jet black, a lot of nitrogen and calcium, and it's just a nice amendment to mix in with everything. You can top dress with it, and it's organic. You can get it organic. But the way I look at it is, it's organic because it's made from worms. And I mean, how do you define organic?
I don't know how they define organic, but I would call that organic, certainly.
Well, what the fuck's an organic worm? It's worm poop.
Well, I guess they would say the worm was doing its thing in organic soil, and therefore the products are organic.
So the worm has to eat organic detritus in order for what it produces to be considered organic. I mean, Jesus.
Yep. The result, if the worms are in Chernobyl, you probably don't want those cases.
Right. Yeah, and speaking of which, interesting how did those guys just go in and start digging foxholes and shit in radioactive soil?
I mean, I read that too. You just can't believe anything you read on Ukraine. I mean, it's sometimes it might be true a little bit, but then it's exaggerated. It might not be true at all, or it might be worse than the worst thing you heard. You just can't tell. But it just sounds so stupid. It's impossible to believe.
I mean, there's these things that are down in that soil that are like actual pieces of the radioactive material that there's been guys who've gone with really sensitive Geiger counters and found these actual minute pieces of it.
Chunks of the graphite that was in the main reactor core. Yeah, that. Oh my God.
I mean, they're saying if this gets on your skin, it's transpermeable, like radiation is going into your body. You're dead if you go near this thing.
I mean, I don't know how far stuff was. There were fires, and I don't know how far. And I guess there were explosions.
There were big explosions. Yeah.
I don't know how far. Did they have all the uranium? All the
Right.
All the U-235, has that all been, or is that just, are there just chunks of it in the surrounding area yet to be
Yeah.
found?
Yeah, there's a fishing show called what is it? It's Jeremy Wade, River Monsters.
Oh yeah, I've
And
heard of that.
he did one, and they gave him like a week pass to Chernobyl, and he had the radiation meter. He was catching radioactive fish, and what they found was that the fish grew big, much bigger, and died in half the age. So they were all very healthy. There was tons of food. There's no interference. There's no pressure from fishermen, but they're also loaded with radiation. So everything has a shorter life cycle, including the
There's,
bait, the
there's
fish.
also probably a lot less pollution other than all the radiation.
Purely the radiation, right?
Purely radiation, yeah. So it's probably, the water's probably cleaner in that sense.
And they found the same thing with, there's wildlife, wolves and shit have taken up residency there, and they have a 50% lifespan, but they grow very quickly and they're very healthy. And I don't even know if they're any bit the wiser.
No,
that
what do they
die? You know?
All right, they don't know.
I don't know.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Yeah, they certainly don't know. They're just dying, you know?
Right? It's probably one of the biggest return to nature there has been in history.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because development always seems to increase. It never shrinks back. But
it's true.
Unless there's a nuclear accident.
It's happening here with the coyotes everywhere, every day on the local Facebook forum.
Yep.
Which is addictive. I love checking in on that thing. And there's always pictures of coyotes. Put your pets inside. Fucking this, that, and the other thing. Coyotes all over the place, and we hear them.
Coyotes all over Chicago.
In the city, right?
In the city. I was one time when I was driving there. I was taking the exit off the Edens Expressway and on the ramp, and there was a coyote on the ramp.
That's cool. A lot of guys, mostly like Southerners and rednecks and shit, hate them. They just want to shoot every fucking coyote that ever existed. It's a thing, because they all are deer hunters, so they think that every predator you take out saves a fawn, saves a buck, saves a doe, whatever. Like a buddy of mine said, who's a hunter, he said, looks a little too much like my dog. He's got the big giant thing that looks like a husky, but it's twice as big. What the hell are those called?
I don't know dog breeds.
It's a big ass husky.
A Malamute?
Malamute. There you go. You do know dog breeds.
Well, okay, I was just guessing.
And he's like, I couldn't shoot one of those. It looks like my dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're big and fluffy. And we have one here in the neighborhood that has a total bum leg. She's been around for like 3 years. She runs with one front leg, and she cleared 300 yards by maybe, it seemed like 15 seconds. It was unbelievable how she went through this neighborhood like on 3 legs. Just fucking strong animal, So
yeah,
gotta have respect for something like that. Living in the winter in New England, surviving, killer. Yeah. Probably she's had a few cats through her life, I'm sure. Maybe a dog or two, but them's the breaks, I guess, if you're a pet owner.
I used to have 2 dogs. One a little dog, one a big one, and in their life they killed 2 cats. Both had gotten in the yard, and it was very upsetting. But what can you do?
Because they're not wild animals, then it is upsetting. And when it's a coyote, they almost get the pass. It's the owner's fault when it's, but it's a little more upsetting when a domestic animal kills, wild or another domestic animal. It's just
the one time that one of the cats I found, it was, I don't know if they killed it or, I found the cat. We had a chain link fence then, and the cat. All I found was the cat with its head through the chain link fence. Its body was there. I don't know if it choked to death or it tried to escape through there, and the dogs killed it. I didn't see any blood, but it was pretty pretty hideous to see a dog, a cat with its head through the chain link fence with its eyes back.
Did you give the dogs the total cold shoulder for like a day? Were
No,
they
I
like,
didn't. I didn't.
you didn't do nothing? You didn't give them,
No, I didn't do anything like that. It's a whole instinct with them. They don't know what they're doing.
right? It's not like barking at a kid, I guess, or something that could maybe be a little more dangerous. I don't know. Here, let me add the Wolfman himself, our own Barker, Mr. Biscuit Face.
How's it going, everybody?
All right, how you doing,
man?
Biscuit?
Not too bad.
Good.
Good to see you. You look good.
Yeah, you look good, brother.
Looking very hairy.
Yes,
Oh,
you
that's cool.
do. You do.
It's
You do
fine.
look like a wolf man. You should wear fangs onto one of these shows.
Yeah, you're like the Beatles. You started off with a short, clean shaven. Now you're like in the mid to late 60s, and then you'll be like, George Harrison in the early 70s with the fucking long hair and a couple of months.
Scalp permitting, it'll grow longer and longer.
Yeah. How's things over there? Is the news starting to, dude, they're bubbling up about, the big C over here, but nobody's really concerned about it here.
They keep in between Ukraine news reports. They keep telling us that coronavirus is raging through.
No, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, well,
However, they're not as what's the word? They're not as apocalyptic about it. They're like, yeah, it's rising, but it's not that big a deal because it's not killing anyone.
that's right. That's right. It's becoming endemic, and it's becoming significantly less severe when it regarding hospitalization. So maybe it'll just work right in as a.
What I wanted to talk about was in Russia they seem to be having a run on sugar.
Yeah, I saw some kind of a fist fight at a supermarket about that.
I can't understand it. Why do they have to free cane sugar? Because I've had a bag of sugar in my cupboard for nearly 2 years, and I've still got half a bag.
Wow.
I don't know.
I don't use sugar very often. I might put 2 spoons in my coffee once in a while.
Well, maybe there are shortages.
I know, but why do they need the sugar? It's already in their food. It's not exactly a necessity staple, is it? To have free sugar.
It depends. If you bake a lot of desserts, yes.
Yeah, I know that, but it's not. It's not an essential thing to buy. They're acting like it's that if they don't get any, they're going to starve to death.
Right. You're totally right. Like if you had 10 pounds of sugar or 10 pounds of Wheaties or some simple breakfast cereal, one would last you a month or two. The other you'd be dead in 2 weeks.
I mean, you can get all the natural sugars from. Yeah. Even flour has natural sugar in it. If you make your bread out of flour, water, and yeast, why is the flour not the thing that's being run out?
This is true. Although that would be unleavened bread. The Last Dance? Sorry.
Yeah. Matzah.
Matzah, right, exactly. Yes. They had 40 years in the desert with that shit or something like that, I think, right?
I believe the story. I don't know.
I could live on flat bread for a while with just brushed with a bit of butter and garlic.
Sure. I hear you. Naan bread is good too. I really like the naan. Yeah. We get a naan pizza crust that I can make a killer pizza out of a naan pizza crust. It's toasty. Hey, look who it is.
I mean, like Lee Howell said, food manufacturers might need sugar, but I can't understand why the general population would need it.
I don't know what the typical Russian diet is like. I mean,
being in a cold climate, you'd think that they'd favor fat consumption over sugar, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's part of the culture that I'm not familiar with. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember I used to watch a lot of was it that FPS Russia guy from Live Leak? Was that?
Yeah, I remember him.
He used to do he'd go to different parts of Russia, different cities, different places. It was totally fascinating. He often had his daughter was with him very often. Am I right there?
Did he go to Russia? I think he mostly went into the U.S. He was like am I thinking of the same guy?
I think he had a show in Russia, and then he did a trip across the U.S. As a whole series. But fascinating stuff. Looks like, the Russian people, the Russian culture, it sucks. They're all being painted now as a horrendous group, but it's like it always seemed like a cool culture, a cool place to me, kind of like China, like the Chinese government, obviously a challenging thing to accept, but the Chinese people, the culture, the cities, they look fascinating. It'd be such a cool place to visit, same as Russia, but these times it's just not even thinkable, especially
people stop thinking sane during conflicts.
Right. Hey, let's go ahead. There he is.
Speaking of lack of sanity, it's Aphidlip.
Evening, gents.
How you doing, man?
Hey, Aphidlip, how you doing?
Good. FPS Russia was he was a character on YouTube that FPS stood for first person shooter because he came from like Call of Duty, and he always had like really high power weaponry. The guy you're talking about, I can't remember his name. He was.
Who am I talking about?
He lived in Russia, and you're right.
Yes.
He did post his daughter on there, and he would just go into like a burger joint and show you what normal life was like in Russia. But I can't remember his name.
Totally fascinating. Good stuff.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Seemed like a nice guy.
And that accent. And it reminded me of the poor bastard who ran the gun channel, who was American, who did the fake accent. Oh, was
that's FPS Russia?
Yes. Okay.
And he ended up getting he went to jail for a while.
Federal crimes, yeah, and they took all his guns away.
Yeah, his partner who like was the access to him getting all the guns. He ended up getting killed in like a murder, basically, is what it was. And then he didn't do a YouTube video for months, and then he came back and it just wasn't the same. And then he had weed over at his house, and they searched his house and they found the weed. And that was originally what got him into trouble.
Crazy.
But yeah, he's been on YouTube and told the stories like of how prison was and everything, which is almost as interesting. He doesn't have that accent anymore, though.
Right.
That fake accent. It was a pretty good fake accent.
It was good, but I mean, when he'd be out there like shooting one of what was it, like maybe a microwave or something full of tannerite, and he shot it like the microwave door went like near his head as it went by. Like shit like that happened all the time.
Right.
Blasting a car up, and like half of the door would almost cut him in half, and it was like
he was in Georgia. All that was in Georgia somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
I think his dad had a bunch of property that he did all.
He was like the original Demolition Ranch, or this other guy, Kentucky Ballistics, who almost blew his face off with the .50 caliber with an overcharged round.
Wow.
Have you ever seen that one?
I think I did. Did Hayden talk about it?
Demolition Ranch.
What's that?
I used to love watching Demolition Ranch.
Demolition Ranch is good. Yeah.
Hayden was talking about back towards the end when he stopped doing his shows. There was some guy that he watched, and he's mentioned the part. I think what you're talking about, where the guy almost blew his face off.
Yeah.
It might be a different part.
It was maybe a half inch from his jugular, and it might have even nicked his jugular, because he makes a shirt now that is very popular. Stick your thumb in it, because that's what his father told him to do. His father.
I wouldn't say it nicked it. He was bleeding out from his jugular.
There you go.
And he did stick his thumb in it, and he did survive. But he was just he was severely injured. He really was.
Yeah, it could have been so severely that it was one of the injuries that you could easily be walking around 2 weeks later or underground.
Right.
As the old Irish saying goes, it's better to be seen than viewed, and that's essentially how thin it was for him, man. Because he
had his, his neck. Yeah, he was bleeding out there, but he also got his lung punctured by some shrapnel there and
collapsed.
And he had to have significant thoracic surgery to repair that. He was really fucked up by that.
Yeah. And he was using some kind of what's called the slap round, which I don't know if that's an acronym for something, but apparently this one was really hot, like really overcharged. So what he did not long ago was he made another really overcharged round. He bought another one of those rifles, or was given one with the screw.
He was given one from the company.
By the company, yeah. So he did set it all up with weights on a proper lead sled on a table, put 100-foot wire on it or rope, and then he hid behind the engine block of like an F-350.
Right.
And commenced to blow the rifle up again with a ballistic dummy behind it. And it was bit bigger. I think he overcharged the overcharged round.
Well, I believe what he did was he got another batch of rounds from the same source.
That was the first step
of the one that almost killed him.
Yeah.
And then he got some that were intentionally made really.
In the end, he ended up making that one.
Did he make the one that finally blew the cap off?
Correct. He had to grab a casing and get an obscene amount and just pack the whole thing himself, plug it himself, and then he fired it and it blew the whole fucking thing sky high.
It did, but even then, if you looked at the video, he probably wouldn't have been as seriously injured.
Yeah.
As he was.
That. The bolt and everything went and missed the dummy's head.
Right.
Where the bolt from the 50 he fired, it went like right into his throat, into the side of his neck. It was just... Oof.
I vaguely remember hearing about it on another channel, actually.
It was something, man.
But it's just funny to think, before you were standing, your face was right behind this. Now you've had 100-foot line standing behind the engine block of a truck and doing it.
And I've dissected that. Like his legs and hips and everything is down behind the wheel. His upper body is behind the engine because he's crouched. But there's still a little room for something to sneak through and hit him. But I mean, he's mostly protected, I guess. That's why you don't use slap rounds. Yeah, I'm not ever going to have probably a 50 caliber anything in my hand in my life. I held a 50 caliber round once. A real BMG stands for Browning machine gun. So a 50 BMG is the big one. And then there's a pistol that fires a 50 caliber round, which is significantly smaller, same diameter as the rifle round. The 50 BMG is a massive, gigantic bullet. But I've seen these 700 nitro bullets, which would be instead of a 50, that's a 70 caliber. And those things are, have you ever seen a 700 nitro, they call them? Like there's some Arab guys doing one of these in an indoor. This might have been from the Live Leak days with like plexiglass behind them. They're firing it and leaning forward and boom, and the rifle flies out of their hands against the glass.
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, right? I feel like I remember it.
That was the 700 Nitro. That thing is like, it's a horrible thing. It's made for killing one gigantic animal in Africa, basically. A lot of people don't like that. You know what animal? Anybody?
I assume it's an elephant.
Yeah, it's an elephant. You know what those guys say? You got to kill a few to save them. You just gotta...
Sure.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's not what I say.
They buy these hunting licenses for like $80,000 to $120,000. That goes to the game reserve and to the whole salary of half of the people that work there, just so one of the guys can blast one elephant. It's
watching the Las Vegas pawn shop. This woman brought in an elephant's tusk, like a really big one.
Can't touch that thing, right? It's illegal.
Oh no! It was fake. It was just animal bone pieced together on a wooden log.
That's funny.
You could see the square, the square cut of the bones that have been made into panels, and it was light as shit.
What's he carrying his ass?
I don't know. I'll just feature the comment.
A tampon.
Hopefully, we get that bad Larry in here tonight. He's on a doozy on the sidebar as our boy.
We should just
sidebar.
We should just bring on McGrand and Topple, and the rest of us should leave.
Exactly.
Just watch the fireworks.
McGrand and Top.
Aphid Lip, I'm sorry that your minute got ruined.
I showed my buddies that. I was like, can you believe this shit? Where did you see it? Like Twitter or something, probably?
I saw it on Twitter.
And you just had to share it before you fact check yourself.
I didn't know. You can't trust anything. I mean, I thought it was a little suspicious that
I thought it was too, but I was
organization
like,
name.
It doesn't mean that it's not. I would believe it if it was by them.
Here's the thing. Here's the reason you should be suspicious. There was no URL on there, no website address.
There was no URL, but it did have that thing down at the bottom. It said transgender community or something. I don't know.
Trans rights, trans something
movement or something.
Yeah,
campaign.
But trans right campaign. But
that's how I found out, because I searched for that and I came up with some trans thing, and I was cycling through their articles and they all had that same color scheme of the background. It was like those same exact like 3 colors that they used. And I was like, oh, it's got to be, but I couldn't find anything. So I'm like, well, let me do a reverse Google search. And that's when I came across that Reddit article that was saying
what date did that Russian fuel depot get destroyed? Was that on April 1st?
No, it was before that.
A couple days before.
A day
oh, dang, that could have been like the biggest April Fool ever from Russians, could it?
Is there any truth to that? Was it a Russian depot?
Yes, it was.
And what was Ukrainian dudes that went in there?
Zelensky was like,
it was Ukraine.
I can't confirm or deny. So.
Well, yeah, so that makes you think that it's got to be.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day, it was feeding the Russian army, wasn't it? So
hopefully they don't get in.
Target.
They don't get into an eye for an eye and like kill civilians or anything.
An eye for an eye. It's already been an eye for an eye.
They're killing civilians every day.
Thousands of civilians. Millions.
No, I mean, Ukrainians go into Russia and some apartment complex or something.
Yeah, I don't think the Ukrainians would do that.
No.
They might destroy more military.
Like we've discussed in the past, the Ukrainians aren't the best people on the planet.
No. Let's just. I'll put it to you this way: there's some Ukrainians who would happily carry a couple of 1,000 pounds of TNT in there and blow some fucking people up just because they're probably pissed, and maybe they lost their family. But this is how you create people who hate you. Right. I mean, the U.S. is really good at it. We're
great years.
At it. So they're just going to have probably a problem on their hands for this because, they're not all going to be just happy-go-lucky, people who've been fucked up and had half of their family killed. Some of them are going to want blood, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, if it was the Ukrainians, how the hell did the Russians allow them into the airspace? It was quite a way in, wasn't it?
Well, I'm sure it was helicopters. They probably flew in low.
They did.
They probably if you have a state, organization that they can do all the planning. They know where the radars are. They can attack each problem, including suppressing the radars.
I suppose the helicopters being the same ones the Russians fly might have had something to do with it.
It might make them pause for a minute. You're right. If they saw it, it was done at night. Where
well, I mean,
essentially,
what? How far in was it? I mean, like 3 miles.
I think it was in Belarus, right? Was it? I don't know.
No, not Belarus. It was off the eastern border near Donbass.
Yeah, it wasn't very far into Russia, obviously.
I mean, let's say 3 miles. You go 3 miles in, 3 miles out. I mean, it's not going to take that long.
It was a lot more than 3 miles.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah.
I bet they were like shitting their pants that whole way.
It wasn't right on the border. It was quite a way in. There was at least 3 cities or villages or towns or whatever it was between it and the border.
Do you think Ukrainians high five each other? I bet there was some
Yeah,
high fives.
definitely. Of course they do.
Oh, they don't. Actually, they do the Heil 5.
Okay. That's good.
Boo!
Sorry, I took that from Seinfeld. That's from Seinfeld.
Smokesteve is in the lead tonight. Good job.
Absolutely.
That was stolen, but I mean, oh, look who it is. It's somebody with a Boston Terrier down below.
All right.
And a gassy Boston Terrier at that, which we found out last week. Which that was funny as hell when that dog ripped that fart.
Well,
And
that's
then
what he claims.
He filmed it though. The dog
We
looked
don't-
mad
He's
fucking guilty, dude. I'm telling you what.
His vocal cords has belted out some questionable things in the past, so I'm not gonna say that it was 100% his dog.
Yeah, I don't know. It's similar to a French bulldog. They kind of look like Boston's. They always, because their ears are perked up, they always kind of look either guilty or inquisitive.
Right.
They always have some like, "Hey, what's up?" look on their face. They can never look sleepy. You know, they're either up or totally out. You know.
Two of my dogs fart regularly, so I can't put it past them. One of them is loud and not stinky, and the other one is silent but deadly every time.
That's nasty.
It is nasty. They don't have the same, because their body's so much smaller. Well, the one that's stinky is smaller. So it doesn't last as long as a person fart does, fortunately.
Right. That's
It dissipates quicker. There's less air flowing around a dog turd.
Well, I find the shortest silent ones to be the more deadly ones.
Oh, yeah.
That's possibly true. Fart dynamics here on the pub.
Let's
True pub conversation.
get to the bottom of something, at least.
Not bad. That was a pun. I got it. I like it.
So Last Dance, back to I had I was gonna go through like percentages that were obvious, because it said on there like it's a 98%
98%
of
straight man.
And I was like, well, of course they wouldn't be straight. So I was gonna go through Jews celebrating the birth and death of Christ, and
You should do it anyways. You should go do it, man.
Oh man, what was the women, biological women are enough of the pain in my ass,
Listen, man, I have seen similar things posted on Twitter by people who are serious. So it could be true.
I didn't even doubt it. I would have never even tried to fact check it. I was just looking to see the source for who said it, so I could start off the whole lit minute with that. And then I was like, oh, I can't do it now.
Are you trying to make me feel guilty because I brought this to your attention? I'm gonna have to fact check my the things I post in Discord.
I was going to say how it leaves a bad taste in my mouth and make a funny look in this camera.
Oh, that thing you posted in Discord about trans.
It was totally
Yes.
It was wrong. It was fake.
Okay, yeah, because for about 3 minutes, I kept retyping a sentence trying to express something about it, and then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm not going to get this right. So I totally gave up, but I was literally in deep thought about it. Like, Jesus, are they serious? Like, what? I just couldn't get it right what I wanted to say back to you, but it never occurred to me as an April Fool's joke. It flew over my head and I let it go,
I was going to explain straight guilt to everyone.
I think you should do it.
No, it's too late now.
It's not too late.
I have to prepare it. I don't have anything prepared.
Oh, so your whole thing was based on that.
My whole Aphid Lip Minute tonight was based off of that picture.
That poster, whatever you
that
want to call
post
it, right?
that he put.
Yeah.
That's it, real Russia.
That is funny.
I feel like
Real
I'm
Russia.
I'm fine with them whatever they want to do on their own time, but just don't shove it down my throat. That was another zinger I was gonna put in.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get slapped if you really do a whole bit on that.
It's funny. I showed that to my friends, and my friends, if it's just us, there's a difference between if it's us in front of our wives.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I wonder, sometimes in the text chat, it's still different. It's almost like there's a chance that somebody could see it. So I feel like people are a little bit careful of what they say. Or like my one friend's a teacher now, so he don't seem to get involved with the crazy talk, as much.
Yeah.
Unless we're in person. But I was wondering how far I could push it, with them. So I only said a couple of things. My one buddy is real conservative, and he was like, I can't believe this shit, with these fucking transgenders trying to push all the... He didn't hold back, and he was within seconds had commented on it.
And immediately your hat went backwards, and you were like, I know, right? Because you didn't know it was a fucking joke.
Right. Well, now I feel like I need to tell them all that, because they're probably sharing. That's how things spread, They're going to share it with somebody else.
Hilarious, dude. Hilarious, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You just perpetuated a rumor that's gonna
I know. Well, I've there's been a couple times when either it was on Live Leak and I posted a video or something or a comment I said and I got called out, and I would want to be called out. Some people hide their head in the sand, but you got to fix those strands that go out, and spread, those tree branches, because that's how the shit, that's how the shit gets spread,
All right. Real quick, I'm going to add a new guy in here to us. He's
got camera
I now see camera. Yeah, so there he is.
Sweet.
Hi, buddy. How you doing, John?
All good.
Good, man. Welcome.
Was he on here before? No?
I've been on before. You're the midget skater.
Say that again?
Exactly.
The midget skateboarder.
Skateboarder, right.
The midget skateboarder. The midget skateboarder.
The midget skateboarder.
Yeah, the little guy is what he's saying.
Yeah, little guy. That size.
That's him. He's a borrower.
A Fraggle Rock.
Right.
That's right.
What's up, John? How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm not too bad myself. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
In fact, I need to get myself another beer. It is the pub, isn't it?
It is the pub.
What are you drinking, Sean?
Vodka.
That's not vodka. It looks brown, homeboy.
That is vodka and coke, mate.
Oh, vodka and coke. All right.
That explains it.
Vodka and straight.
I've also got my Cactus Jack.
What the hell is that?
It looks like mouthwash. Looks like Listerine.
Yes.
What the fuck is that, homeboy?
Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack.
It's a shot. It's a shot liqueur, like a very sweet liqueur.
Okay.
I gotta look that up.
That's so sweet, like you giving about.
Seriously, if you posted that, or if you set that on a shelf in the dental section of our grocery stores, people would think that that's what that was mouthwash. It's even got the same shape.
No. You get mixed up with Listerine.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like.
Okay. Here we go. Cactus Jack.
There you go.
Blue raspberry.
That's exactly what I'm drinking.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
For some reason, I have a feeling that bottle was a lot fuller before you got to where you're at tonight.
Okay, here we go.
I've actually got two balls here. I've got a green ball and a blue ball.
So it's just like mouthwash.
No.
You got peppermint and wintergreen.
This is
You know what it's like. You know what it tastes like. Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah. It's just like Mad Dog. So it's 70 CLs, which to us we would say 700 mLs, obviously. Right. So $7, $8 for one of those 7 or 8 pounds, whatever the fuck you call them.
Yeah, it's good, man.
And
it's nice.
15% ABV, so it's 30 proof. They technically call it a schnapps, raspberry flavored. Not bad. A little too sweet for my tastes, probably, but it's you probably just sip off of it, right?
Oh, he's mixing it with.
See, I'm on the last of my vodka, so I'm going to drink that next.
Yeah, you don't sit Cactus Jack, Steve. It's more of a chase. It's a shot chaser.
I'll show you your drink in a minute. I'll show you.
You put it in a shot glass and down it one after other.
Okay, so you're pouring like a double each time and just shooting.
Yeah.
I believe you swish it around for 15 seconds, and then spit it back into the drink.
That's right. That's how you do it.
1 minute to kill the bugs in your mouth.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Wait till the nippiness goes away.
Yeah, all right. Top will come on and tell him that.
Yeah, go on, Tom.
Yeah, yes.
No, just don't come on here. Go visit him.
It looks like he's
My money is on John. John looks like he would take Topple out
I think John
in about 15 seconds. Shorter
I'm
than it
worried.
would take for him to swish his mouth
fucking
clean.
Mr. Greg's a fucking pussy, man.
look at this.
I agree.
Oh, the airing of the grievances? Is this that time of the show?
Is this Topple the old roofer?
No, he's not a roofer. No. He works in the basements mostly, way down low. He likes
His
he likes
mom's.
He's a mole. He's a mole.
Oh, he's a good guy.
What's that?
Nah, no, I'm on a laugh.
We got tobacco going on, or we got the marijuana?
You got cannabis, homie?
Because we don't approve of that here.
Grinder? I like it.
Oh yeah, he's.
Oh yeah, Grinder. No,
Looks like
not Grinder. Sorry, not like that.
Grind ending in ER, not grind ending in R.
Grinder.
Okay, there's no E. I didn't know that, but you did. But that's cool.
Yeah, I don't even know what you
Oh.
guys are talking about.
Oh yes, you do. You're like deleting your Google search.
I'm in the 98%.
You smoke
I'm not ashamed to admit I've got gay friends.
That's cool.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't right now, but I have in the past.
I have in the past. I can't think of any right now.
Those bitches did me wrong.
How'd you go? A-flip. Was it A-flip?
Aphid lip.
A-flip. You got trans thing.
Yes, I do. I have a friend that is now a female that was a boy. He was a man, and now he's a woman.
And you still don't know how to deal with it.
No, it's uncomfortable every time I come in contact.
You still
with
don't
him.
know what to do, and it's been years, and you're still like baffled. Which
dude was at my bachelor party.
I would be the same way. It's a hard thing to fucking rationalize in one's head.
It's funny because at the beginning, most of my friends were not my closest. My closest friends are with me and didn't really care for him too much the whole time before he was a woman. But a lot of my friends were like real careful of how they handled it, and like were like kind of pranced around the subject, and
Pranced.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to describe it. And now, not many of them still have a relationship with they or whatever they want to go by.
They, them.
So they're more open
Perks.
about how crazy it is.
Right.
That was funny.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know.
My one buddy, the one I was talking about earlier, that had didn't take long to respond to Last Dance's fake picture of the trans thing. He's like super conservative guy, and he had to walk down the aisle with the chick dude at another one of my buddy's weddings. So it was like so.
Why did he? Oh, you mean they paired him up on like the male female?
They were
side?
like a co best.
Wait,
man.
so you're telling me the guy was a bridesmaid?
Well, he wasn't, because the wife had a bridesmaid, but the dude, my buddy that lives in California.
Oh, the wife has a maid of honor, and then has
maid
like
of okay,
six
yeah, right,
bridesmaids.
maid of honor. All
Yeah.
right, and on the dude's side, he had this conservative buddy of mine and this chick dude, both be his best man or best woman or whatever you want to
Best
call it.
they.
Best they. And my buddy, the conservative one, was like, "Look, man," like right when he got there, he's like, "I just want to put down some ground rules. You can, I'm fine with whatever you want to do on your own time. Just don't push that shit on me." And I can just imagine how he said it to her.
Yeah, that would be the guy I would probably stop being friends with. He sounds a little too high strung for me.
He is high strung, but man,
you're so laid back. How do you not just crack up and like smack him on the shoulder and say, "Just shut up"?
Man, he's one of those guys that's just such a character that like you just I don't know, man. He's just such a character that it's hard not to be totally fascinated with just about every word that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, I hear you. He's an eclectic dude.
Yeah.
See on your Discord, that man, that's me.
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
Hey, it's that man.
Yeah. You. I didn't know that was you, but I knew that you weren't the first time on the show here tonight.
That's me. I'm not man.
You're right.
Yeah.
Welcome, dude. Welcome.
Yeah, we need some more action in there. Cup of tea needs to come in there. Cup of tea. It's Discord.
By the way, I can post millions of videos, right? But I'm scared that kids are agents.
Agents?
No, videos. I can post loads of videos in that Discord. I'm scared a case across the boundaries.
No, there's no boundaries. It's pretty laid back. I mean,
you can do whatever. Oh man, I don't care what you.
Are you talking about like old gore videos, like people getting cut up?
I'll millions of mad videos I'll post for you.
Oh man, don't hold back. Seriously, if you whatever you want to post, and I'm just like everybody else is there. There's not going to be any censoring whatsoever unless there's doxing going on, and that's it. Cool. I don't care what you want to put on there. I don't care.
Right.
Post away.
Unless it's something that could get somebody in trouble or if it's illegal. Then definitely.
Well, I mean, I would probably if it's somehow illegal, if I'm hosting it in a way, then I would probably. I wouldn't.
It's just sex shit.
Oh, just sex.
Sick.
Oh, sick. Gore.
Well, there's that one place in there. It's called NS. I don't know what it's called. Not suitable for work.
NFSW.
Yeah.
NSFW.
Right. So put it in there. Put it in there, and I don't care what you put in there. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna pop you in the face if you post some child porn or something like that, and delete it.
Please.
But what happened to you the last couple of weeks? Who have you been?
What's that?
He's asking Biscuit, where you been?
Biscuit, where has he been the last couple of weeks?
I gave up this show for a while because a bit of confrontation.
Yeah, we were
people judging you. I think people were judging you.
Right. Yeah. Basically,
not judging, but making comments that I didn't like. So I just left it alone for a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to get that.
For the record, I never said anything.
No.
You know that.
Well, when you put yourself out there, I mean, that just comes with the territory, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People are gonna, think what they want to think, and you can either agree with them or disagree with them.
I mean, it helped me a little bit to come away from it with that. Like, I was getting some proper sleeping, and not ruining my my sleep cycle.
Well, that's great to hear.
That's called what? Circadian rhythm. You have to be able to fall asleep in the dark.
To get back to reality, mate. Reality, man.
That's it. Yeah.
Biscuit,
well,
I will say.
You say back to reality. I just sunk my head into bloody nose of it, and it was even worse.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it's good to get back to reality. To go back to reality, yeah.
Biscuit, there's a lot of stuff that you didn't see that there is a lot of people that care about you, so you should know that.
I know
you should really know that.
That's why I came back.
All right, well, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. So we spoke a little bit about Russia earlier. Does anyone know about what's going on with Russia involving gold recently and the ruble?
No.
Is anyone familiar with this?
I don't know about gold, but
the rubles went back to the same back to the same value because the whole of Europe are paying in euros.
Yeah, so they're doing a deal where Russia is going to be buying gold at a certain price with rubles, and
But Russia are not accepting ruble. There's no one currency. They want everyone to buy. They want everyone to buy their oil in euros.
right,
So it takes the ruble back up.
exactly. So they're taking the money that people buy the oil with and doing something with the transfer for rubles and gold.
It's obviously taking the currency back up to where it used to be.
Right. And so what's going to happen is essentially my prediction, gold is going to go crazy in the next 4 to 6 months. Like crazy.
It's all fucking bullshit, mate. You know what? It's all bullshit.
I think you should buy, if you have it, I'd buy gold. I think it's
buy
gold.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty much safe to always buy gold, isn't it?
Not always, but
well, unless the economy's doing like super well everywhere.
It's not going to affect me. It's only people with fucking millions of pounds that are going to affect.
there was a time in the early 2000s where I remember talking to a friend of mine from college and saying, "Can you believe now an ounce of gold is over $400, and we used to pay that for an ounce of weed, and now gold is way more expensive." And like,
listen,
that was 400, and then it went up to like 2,000, 1,500, 1,200. I mean, the climb from then till now has been amazing. If you have had the foresight then to buy, you'd be loaded now. The problem is, like you just asked, David Lip, well, do you buy now and then assume it's going to go up 3 times again?
In this country, a fucking gram of weed is more than a gram of gold. It costs more money for a gram of weed than it costs for a gram of gold.
That's crazy, dude.
I'm just saying, like there's nothing more safe than to buy gold. I don't think, is there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you
can't make more of it.
You have to pay for storage because nobody's crazy enough to keep gold at their house.
That's crazy.
I mean, really,
gotta go.
It'll be a while, but I foresee a future where gold will be worth a lot less in, say, 100 years.
Right.
Why?
Because there's a massive resource of it in space where they'll be able to get it from asteroids and stuff.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You're not believing that shit, yeah.
Oh boy.
Of course I believe in it.
Yeah, his recent investment.
Honestly, man.
Do you know how much it would cost to mine an asteroid, even in 100 years?
Gold is heavy.
Even you bring some back from space and bring it to Earth, you don't know what kind of virus is. You've got to bring that, and fucking it's got to cause mayhem.
Yeah. I mean, I would think some form of alchemy would be more likely to be the death of gold, where somebody literally creates gold in a laboratory and says, "Here you go. There it is. It's the same exact compound or whatever element. It's gold."
It's never going to happen, man. Nature's amazing me when you think about it. It's never going to happen.
They've now created these high pressure situations with these carbon things that can literally create diamonds in like 7 months or something.
Well,
like
diamonds are just compressed.
That's just carbon, though. That doesn't change.
Carbon.
Doesn't change the element.
Changing the element.
You take a mash hammer, the ones that you're talking about, you can still break them.
You can still break them, can you? I don't know. I've just heard that
Still break them.
there's a thing.
You can, however, change an element by using the process of fusion, or you can use the process of fission, like they do with nuclear reactors.
Correct.
Well, listen to Professor fucking vapes.
Man, I'm missing out on a shrimp stir fry that looks absolutely top notch.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, dude.
It's shrimp with teriyaki and rice.
Oh, that does look good. I had shrimp last night, actually.
Shit, man. You want to see something good? I'll show you something good. Watch
Show us
this.
something good. Give me something good.
I had a sun fried chicken salad wrap and a tub of flapjacks. That's all I have.
Flapjacks.
Looks like a pizza.
What are you from, the Old West? Fucking flapjacks.
Look at
Pancakes.
that. What was that?
A
Is that a
calzone?
calzone?
That's a calzone.
Keep that in the refrigerator, right?
Yeah, it's gonna spoil.
That was just about 2 years ago.
2 somethings ago?
2 hours ago. 2 hours.
Oh,
2 hours
okay,
ago.
I got you. Cool.
Yeah, as long as you drink that mouthwash after you take each bite, you should be all right.
All right, let's
I don't
get
know if I'm
Roy
going
on
to eat
here.
this because it's been out for a whole day.
I always see you say your skateboard. I bet it's that
My daughter made this at school.
It's a little skateboard.
Pizza. Nice.
Let me see your skateboard. I bet it's that size.
It was made at school by my daughter, but it's been there for 24 hours, so I don't know if I should eat it.
No.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
Unrefrigerated cheese.
You know, fucking, just don't know me that she bought it.
She's great.
No, it's made it. Look, hold on.
She's great. I love that kid. She's wonderful.
She made it on a Saturday.
At
No,
school.
at school yesterday.
That looks good.
That's
Look
so
at me,
nice.
I'll be old now.
That's so cool. They do a little baking class. Like
Oh, jeez, look at this.
Yeah, every Friday she does baking.
Cheers.
yeah, that thing looks crazy. Wow, look at that color. That
Oh,
is
yeah,
like
see? You gargle it.
unbelievable. Yeah, right. It's healthy, homie. So, dude, yeah, I love that they incorporate that at school. The kids need to be engaged and have a little fun. It's not always just.
I need that for after the cactus shack.
What do you got,
I can't.
Pepto? That's
I can
Pepto.
understand about 10% of what he says, but it's awesome.
It works.
I need that for after my cactus
Is that
shack.
that looks like Pepto Bismol? Is that for
No.
your stomach?
Gaviscon.
Gaviscon.
It's the same basic thing, I think.
Yeah, except it's really thick and gloopy. It's
I bet it's exactly the same as Pedro Bazon.
That's a character from The Lord of the Rings, Sir Gaviscon. He's got quite the sword.
I'd rather have the calcium carbonate tablets.
Tums.
So,
Yeah.
See, I've got a problem with my speech. Can you remember when lockdown first started with us all? Can you remember when the lockdown started?
Biscuit, do you have headphones? It helps. Come on, I need you to translate.
Right, we need
Where are you from, John? Are you Scottish? 'Cause
sounds
it-
Scotland. I mean,
I'm from Edinburgh.
yeah, you're Scottish. It's a very deep accent. I'm struggling as well.
Can
I
you
can
remember
hear you,
when
but-
Can you remember when lockdown first started?
Can I remember when London first started?
Oh, one.
Can you remember when lockdown?
Lockdown.
Lockdown.
Lockdown, yeah.
Lockdown.
Loch Ness.
Lockdown.
I had too many strokes at that point. I was doggies.
Oh, like you really
You're
have
looking green.
Do you really have a physical problem that impairs your speech?
Strokes that affected my speech.
That's just his accent. It's just very strong.
Thick as fuck.
Listen, man.
No, he said he had a stroke.
I
Oh,
too
you had a
many
stroke?
strokes.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, right, okay.
You ain't. That's called a brain fart. A brain fart at the time when you were talking, man.
Right.
Brain fart.
Yeah, brain fart.
Brain fart, right.
I had too many strokes during lockdown. When I went to the hospital, I refused to see me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or semen?
No. Come on, Topple.
Greg,
Come on.
This is a
Say-
clean
He's trying his
show.
best.
Try to work.
I heard horse semen. I'm sorry.
No, it's clear he had too many strokes. Something with him.
No, but I was talking to Aiden Flip on the chat. I was talking to him on the chat. I was telling him that the NHS had refused to see me at the time because of the lockdown.
He's saying the NHS refused to see him at the time because of all the
Right.
COVID.
Seen him. Seen him. That's semen.
No, the NHS, those bastards.
I can't believe it. I keep hearing that story over and over again.
Yeah, it seems like they neglected a lot of care for a lot of people.
So my speech is slurred because of my many strokes.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That compounded with your strong Scottish accent, it's very difficult to understand some of that stuff you're saying as well.
His thirst
Captain
for
Jack
mouth
doesn't help either.
his thirst for mouthwash doesn't help.
That's okay though. But hey, so what's the reason why the NHS seem to be turning away so many legitimate patients who have legitimate medical concerns?
Because I think at the time it was more dangerous for patients, in their eyes, more dangerous for patients to go in and catch COVID as well as whatever they're going in for. That's what they was thinking.
So it's proven to be wrong now.
It is. But that's what the experts was telling them.
So what was the penalty back then for you in the UK if, like, say, your uncle who you were close to as a kid, but say he's dying and you went to see him, but you got caught, like, and you're not supposed to do that? Like, did you get in trouble for that?
They just wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, they won't let you nowhere near.
How do they stop you from going there?
Because
the doors are locked.
The doors are electronically locked, and you can only get in by someone letting you in.
Now, could families intermingle, like from across town, like it's
not at all.
Without permission, but without knowledge, would they catch people? I mean, how would they know?
Honestly, Steve, it was absolutely terrible, mate. You just couldn't get into Oswald.
Other people would dob you in, basically.
No kidding, like just throw you up down the river, just sell you out.
Yeah. I mean, there was Nigel Farage put a video up of a Scottish family. They had the daughter living with them, and is
that the one with the police came through the door?
Yeah, and broke the girl's leg, who's just come out of hospital with a pot on her leg.
By the way,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the UK handled the whole situation very well.
No, behind the wall, fucked up, me.
That's just crazy. I mean, I don't understand.
I mean, I'm still waiting for my bariatric surgery, my bypass.
Yeah, that was supposed to be in March. I thought.
You went on bypass.
Stomach bypass, like what's it called? Gastric bypass.
To lose weight.
Say again?
To lose weight.
Yeah, to lose weight. Yeah. I've been on waiting list for over 3 years.
Actually, how heavy are you?
How heavy are you?
How heavy are you?
I'm 36.5 stone at the moment.
It's not bad.
You try looking that much weight upstairs every day, and I ain't even got a bed at the minute. I've got a mattress that I sleep on. I'm waiting for my new bed.
I'm 6.
I'll be right back.
I'm 6'6".
Yeah.
23 stone, mate.
I'm only 5'11".
So you're 33 stone?
36.5.
I'm 23 stone.
23. Oh, okay.
23.
Yeah.
And he's a big boy.
6'6".
I'm 6'6". I'm glad.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still a big boy. I mean.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what 23 stone is here. 23 times 14?
It should be about 360 pounds.
Is it 14 or 14.2 or what?
It's 14, dead.
So you said 36 or 32?
I'm saying 360.
I'm 36 and a half. 36 plus 7 pounds.
How many pounds is that?
Times 14.
360, I think.
So you're 511 pounds?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow, man.
You don't look a pound over 400.
No, really.
I lift myself out of the mattress on the floor every morning. It's like I tell you, my arms should be huge. I do a press up with that weight every morning just to get out of bed.
I actually work on roofs. I work on roofs all the time. So I'm going to go all the way upstairs through attics, on roofs, and that's what I do for a living. Eh?
Like
I
wouldn't want to go on roofs at 6 foot tall.
you put shingles on roofs?
No signals. I put aerials and satellites.
Satellite dishes and shit. Okay.
Satellite dishes, telecommunications, all that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, all that nonsense.
Yeah, so you screw a bracket on, you run some wires, little silicone caulking around the holes.
A little bit complicated than that. You got IRA systems where you got to bring it. You got to block your flats, your 50. You'll be one dish up, and you got to split them onto all the flats.
Interesting.
It's like multi switches. You know what I'm talking about? Multi switches.
Yeah.
Multi-switch, yeah.
Yeah, all that shit. You got to bring them in, and you got to segregate the feeds so they all go fucking level feeds.
Interesting.
That's quite complicated, mate.
It's cool. It is. I see that. Yes. Base Welshman's here.
Here we go. I've been waiting on this guy coming on.
I think he's everybody's favorite.
Are we going to go talk about COVID?
This is the man to talk.
Here we go.
Captain
Are you there?
COVID.
Are you there, based?
I don't think he is. He's been.
He'll understand, man. This man will understand, man.
What's up, the puss? Hey, the puss. What's going on? Yeah, the puss.
Oh, he's here. The puss.
What's up?
What's
How y'all
happening?
doing today?
Hey, Topple.
What's up, man?
How's everyone doing?
Very well.
John will respect this one.
Evening.
Iron. There he
What's up,
is.
Ace?
Aaron Brew.
It's the drink of Scotland.
What
Okay.
is it
Me
exactly?
the god dogs. He knows what I mean.
I
You know, the only country in the world, right, where Coca-Cola is the #1 drink is Scotland.
Interesting.
You know why? Because I the brewers. Tell him, Biscuit.
What?
It's delicious. It's better than Coke sometimes.
Is it orange
Coke.
flavored?
It's not
Oh, wait,
orange
so that's a
flavour now.
Coke product? What you just showed was a Coke product?
No. Not Coke. I think is it Britvic?
No, it's made of goggles, mate.
The drink of it's made in Ireland.
It's made in Scotland, mate.
No, it's the red hair version.
Dublin's
It's
in
Ireland.
Ireland, though, isn't it?
So what is it? Is it soda, pop, or Coke?
It's made by
Bar.
Bar sodas.
Bar.
Right back.
Made in Scotland, I'll tell you, made in Scotland. It's always made in
Yeah, yeah.
Scotland, mate.
Pop. It's a type of pop.
Scottish drink.
Pop.
What I was saying is
Soda.
Soda, as we call it.
The only country in the whole world where Coca-Cola is the #1 in is Scotland. Yeah, that's because I had a brew.
It looks like it would be orange flavored, like Sunkist.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
it's
It's
not.
not. It's completely different.
Of course.
It's weird. It's like a bit like ginger ale, but spicier. Yeah.
It's got no spice in it. I would say it is like the ginger ale, but without the spice.
Very spicy. You need to try it, honestly. You own that, can you?
Do you guys drink water by any chance?
What's
I'm
that?
wondering.
Water's for washing.
Even water, look. I did that shit there.
That looks
No,
like
but
ginger
the-
ale.
Is that sparkling water, John?
Oh, he does drink
That's
water.
fucking. You know what that is, eh?
There's fuck all in it.
Is it like baby jam?
Here's
Is
my
it baby
Welsh
jam?
man. Here's my Welsh man coming to talk to me about COVID there.
Smokesteve's having a Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
That's cute.
My son loves those.
I
So is that-
don't know why.
Is that
I'm not
cherry
your bullshit.
brandy?
I like that too. So, anything interesting going on since I've been gone?
Has
What are you guys
anybody
talking
talked
about?
about? Have we talked about the? Did you guys talk about the Will Smith thing at all?
Oh, who cares?
Can we bring up the Will Smith thing? Because that was something I would like to talk about.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Here
Base.
we go.
Okay, you know what I'm like for these sort of things. So,
No.
you know what my opinion of mainstream media is too. But there's a glaring, obvious reason why this happens. But no mainstream media, and no one is talking about it. A lot, obviously, social media may be talking about, but no mainstream media is talking about it at all. Can any of you tell me what that is?
I'm
Black
on
on
pins
black
and
crime.
needle. I'm on pins and
Sorry?
needles waiting.
Black on black crime.
No, what it is, it's Will
The
Smith's
COVID
wife.
vaccine.
Will Smith's wife is getting fucked by Will Smith's son's friends. This
Already
has been
said
going on
that.
for a while.
Yeah,
Will Smith is.
Is that still ongoing, or is that just something that happened in the past?
Please, Will Smith.
That is happening now. If you look at when Chris Rock said the joke, Will Smith laughed. Then he looked at his wife, or his cucked wife, or he's the cuck, isn't he? And she wasn't impressed. And then he reacted. So you can fuck his missus in the arse, but you can't make a joke about her hair.
Lack of.
Ooh. Ass.
Like, is that known that she does enjoy the
yes. No,
the
not
shitter?
Yes.
I don't know
shitter?
where he
They have
came
an
up
open
with the ass.
relationship.
They're in an open relationship. They're in an open relationship.
No, I know
baby.
that, but does she like it in the ass? Is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
Was it you?
That's what you're claiming.
Basically,
Was it
he
you?
just gave me a
Alright.
little glimpse into his
Well, as Will said, keep your cock out of my wife's mouth.
Is that what he was saying?
Yeah, that's what he meant to say.
Now there's a certain amount of truth to the fact that he willingly let his wife, have sex with this young.
I don't know if he willingly did it.
It's open relationship.
Well, he had no choice.
Right.
Well, he could have left her.
Because he's a cuckold.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he did have a choice. He could have said, "Yeah, I'm Will Smith. I'm fucking amazing. I'm rich. I can leave your ass and go get any woman that I fucking want." And he could have done that. But
And she said, "Okay, I've got 50%."
I mean, he's not the greatest looking guy. Let's face it. But
I think he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be gay if you had sex with him. I'm just throwing it out.
I'm sure he's getting shagged himself that one.
Maybe for you.
I personally think it was his best acting performance ever, both by Chris Rock, who's not known for his acting abilities.
Wait, so you think it was
Will
fake?
Ford.
You think it's a
Yeah.
red flag? Oh,
That's fake. It was
I'm-
fake.
I mean, there is
false
some-
flag.
there-
I'm all ears now.
There is a little evidence to it.
Guess
Chris
what,
Rock
right?
is doing
Guess
more.
what?
Chris Rock's doing very well from his shows now, isn't he? After all,
Exactly.
public.
Come on.
Yeah, and everyone's still talking about the Oscars. They're not finding out who won the Oscars apart from Will Smith
Cypher.
caused an assault and won an Oscar. No one knows what else happened, but everyone is still talking about the Oscars. If you look at
That's the media. That's the
spread
media's
and all
fault.
that.
That's
What's
the
that?
media's. That's the media's fault. It's not just
I
the
can't even
curiosity
remember-
of people.
I can't even remember
I know
that
you're
show,
awful
that
racist.
film that won the Oscar now.
Exactly.
You know
No one
what?
knows. They just want to become more relevant again. Chris
Yeah.
Rock is leaning forward. He's clenching his cheeks. His arms behind his back. He knew what was coming. If you look at him when he walks up, he leans forward to
Wait,
clap
was
it up.
staged.
The excuse someone gave for that was that he was leaning forward to see through the stage lights.
It was staged right because a couple of days later I heard that fucking Chris Rock was going on tour on Monday with his show.
That's correct. He's
It's
just starting. He's just starting it now.
A pure
There's-
coincidence.
There's nobody on the planet that thought that
Come on.
Will Smith was going to punch him in the face,
no, it
unless
was a
I mean,
he didn't. He slapped him.
whatever.
I would have fucking punched him if I was so
Nobody
fucking
thought
upset.
that was
If I
gonna
was so
happen.
fucking upset
Nobody
to
thought
get
that
off my
was-
fucking
including
fat
Chris
ass, walk on
Rock.
stage in front of a world audience, right? I would turn around and punch the cunt. I wouldn't slap the cunt. I'd punch the cunt.
Right. You're
Yeah,
right about
fucking-
you're right about one thing that's interesting about this is that, like, if somebody is so incensed with anger and rage, they generally don't saunter up as though it is on a movie and then slowly slap somebody in the
Yeah,
face.
That's right. You fucking
He
punch him.
He didn't
You
slowly
punch him.
slap him.
You punch him. You knock him out.
The
You knock him
reaction was all
out.
wrong.
If you're going to get off your fucking ass on a world audience, right? And go up there, you're going to knock him out, you're going to punch him. You're not going to slap him like a pussy.
Slap. It was a soft
If I walked up and punched Greg right in the face, I'd take him. I'd kill him.
Exactly.
Those short
You
ass
fucking...
Yeah, that right hook would have fucking killed him if he hit him at the full right hook. If his
It's a
fist was
setup.
closed, if his fist was
It's a
closed
setup.
and he dropped his left shoulder
What's
a
the
bit
motive-
harder,
We
he
call
could
out
have
the
knocked
Greg
him
putting the
into
water in his
next
face.
week.
You're right,
What's-
Greg.
What's the motivation?
Wait, look, come on, break it down, lads. Let's break it down, right? Right, he currently, his wife is currently getting fucked by her son's
What does that have to
friend.
do with this
Okay,
story, though?
no, hear me out. Now, Will's not that upset about that because he's still with her, and they're still as normal as such, right? But if you make one joke about her hair, now I've looked at her hair. There's no bald patches in her hair. It's been crew cut. Tell me where a bald patches in her head. Tell me where a bald patches in her head.
Because she shaved it all off. And Smokesteve's
Well,
wife
there's
is
no
correct.
bald
You can't
patches.
be a
Look,
bitch
I know
slap.
people with alopecia. You have like proper bald patches, like circular bald patches in the middle of the head.
It's not patches. It's
a spit in the
thinning.
face. When someone slaps somebody in the face, it's a spit in the face. It's disrespectful. You're not trying to cause physical harm. You're trying to embarrass the fuck out of the person. That's what a bitch slap is.
That worked, not.
Well, it did. Obviously, everyone's talking about it.
No,
No, but you said embarrassing. You said it was there to embarrass him. The slap was to embarrass him.
I think
The only person who got embarrassed was Will Smith.
Chris Rock comes away looking
like a million
fairly
bucks.
composed.
His career wasn't doing so great.
And Topple and lads, why aren't mainstream media even mentioning this story? Even like the more conservative papers saying, well, actually, isn't his marriage in awful trouble at the moment? This traditional marriage where seems to be like an open relationship. Now, why hasn't anyone said this? Surely this could. It's not about gossip, is it? It's about a guy causing an assault on a world stage, just talking about a joke, a really basic joke about his missus. It's not even a rude joke. She does look like G.I. Jane. If you put her and Demi Moore together in the movie post, they literally do look quite alike. I didn't think it was a big put down.
Let me tell you this. Thank God. Let me tell you, thank God Chris Rock didn't get his crew. Tim Meadows.
they would have fucked his shit up.
Isn't he very pally with Terry Crews?
Chris Kattan.
Yeah, he could have.
Guys,
Lucky it wasn't Ricky Gervais. Lucky it wasn't Ricky Gervais doing it, because Ricky Gervais has made a statement to say he would have mentioned that his wife's getting fucked by.
I think Chris Rock almost did that, because right after it happened, Chris Rock was like, and he's like, I'm not even gonna do it. I think Chris Rock.
He said it was a simple joke. It was just a simple joke about G.I. Jane, and he went, "Get your fucking cock out my wife's mouth."
Yeah,
I'm not sure that was. I'm not sure that was the 100% transcript of the words he said.
It was close.
Get my wife's name out of your motherfucking.
I would really like to have seen Ricky Gervais's reaction. Anybody's like,
I'll get you what statement he's made.
Oh, this, I do that, I do this, I do that. But I mean, I don't know.
Last Dance, what do you think? Do you think this is a false flag, or do you think it happened exactly like how it's been presented?
Obviously, it happened exactly like it went down. I mean,
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Chris Rock was stunned when he was slapped. He was definitely not expecting it.
I mean, there was a 180 in his reaction on how he handled and everything that came out of his mouth after that. It was obvious that he was like, he couldn't believe that just happened. And he never would have ever thought, until the second it happened, when he was walking up towards them, that's what he was going to do. He thought he was going to say something or do something funny. It was not. He didn't think he was going to slap him.
I guarantee you, out of all the things Chris Rock could think of to improve his career, he would never agree to get slapped.
Right.
As the first thing he tries.
Why not? They're actors on a world stage.
But it ruined a multi-million-dollar person's career, possibly. I mean, I think it's definitely going to do it harm.
But that doesn't mean that they didn't plan it out and they're deluded to think that would have worked. Let me quote what Ricky Gervais actually said.
Nobody knows what.
I would not have made a joke about his wife's hair. I would have made a joke about her boyfriend, Ricky Gervais, on Will Smith. That'd have been great.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have been.
You think about this, guys. You think about it, right?
appearance.
If Will Smith come and slapped anybody who's live on stage, how would you react?
If someone slapped me in the face on a stage,
That's fucking.
well, if it's G-Chan, I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna be like, oh.
Now,
if it's A-Fed, I'm taking his ass to the ground.
To me, I'll tell you right now, if it was that situation and I happened to be on stage telling jokes at the Oscars, Will Smith would end up on his back in probably the second row, and I'd have my shoulder in his chest and be pounding punches into his face, as well as all the celebrities that he landed on. Everybody, I'd just be raining blows down.
Fucking stage.
I don't think we doubt that.
Yeah, at the same stage, Steve, you're saying to him, you get offended about a joke instead of your wife getting fucked in the ass, you silly cunt, and just keep on chinning him.
What do you mean? What now?
Fucking in the ass.
What did he say?
Fucking in the ass shit today.
I wasn't offended by the joke, but no, if I was defending against the slap, is what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the dude came, if I was in the Chris Rock position and the dude came at me,
you'd fucking react, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
he did clench his fist, then unclenched, didn't he?
No,
that's a natural reaction.
The easiest thing is when someone throws an overhand right, you step back into the left, and then their body.
You go fucking under.
If you're quick enough.
Well, if you're not quick enough, just bull rush him, shoulder in the gut, and
tag
push
him
him off the stage, right off the stage into the crowd, and just go.
Okay, so it'd be a fucking. I'd run the fucking. He'd come on, break his nose, and put his nose right up in his face.
Ham hands. That's what my brother calls me. I got the ham hands. Babies. There you go.
Fuck it on. Oh.
Go ahead, cops.
I'm with Based here, actually, shockingly. I don't think it was real. I really don't.
I think it was fake.
No. I think it was staged. Staged.
Greg, it was staged.
It was staged.
So you think both sides were in on the gig?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Chris Rock, he's from Brooklyn. I can't see him backing down.
He's feeling ghetto. He's never got a fucking real laugh.
Dude, those funny kids are usually funny because they got beat up a lot when they were little.
They can fight too, though.
Sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I saw the whole breakdown where the guy pauses the picture with his hand back, and like Chris's head is leaning into the slap, and it looks weak-wristed, and there seems to be some choreographing going on between the two. I've noticed that, but I still think it's
if anybody's ever approaching you in that kind of matter, you're not going to take one step back.
No, of course, you turn your body like a blade.
Yeah,
so it's a little thinner to them, so
he didn't take a step back. He just stood there, and he set up for it.
Right.
I think he set up. I could care less if it was or wasn't. Doesn't matter. Yeah, and I don't think Will Smith's career is ruined by this anyway.
You think he put a little weight on his left side? He kind of leaned into it a little, sort of clenched his jaw.
A mark on his face afterwards? Like, I didn't really...
No. It's a bit hard to see on a black man's face, isn't
like,
it?
Whoa. But even if it was a hard slap that it looked like it was a slap, it had to be just fingertips, because if he got the palm, you take a tooth out easy.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking world slapping championships.
Which I think was it staged?
Slap, man.
That was on the next channel.
I've seen those world slapping. Those fuckers slap the fuck out of each other in those world champion slapping. In fact, John, you could probably do all right with those slapping jobs there. Some big motherfuckers in there. But anyways, he was obviously not slapping for power. It was a show, like a show of force, you know? Like
I said, it was a slap to embarrass him.
Exactly.
Not to really cause harm. Are you in the hospital? Base?
Oh, that's just some wires hanging out of the wall.
Oh.
I don't even know.
Are you on oxygen?
That's the nurse call button.
It's an IV. All right, stop showing your medical wires. Let's see your cute dog. Your farting dog. The little fata. There he is. Oh,
Under the covers, between the legs.
oh, he's
Nice.
cute. Boston Terrier. Trigger. Good guy. Like that dog. That's a candidate for a breed I would get if I was ever going to get a dog.
Should get a pit bull.
What are you,
That's
crazy?
what
You want to eat my face off? What are you, out of your mind?
You're so scared of dogs.
Greg, I've got a pit bull.
Yeah, see? But you're a big guy.
I've got an American pit bull. He's a good one, too.
Yeah. You're Alpha, right? He knows who Alpha is. Yep. See?
I'm Alpha.
Steve, you just gotta practice being Alpha with a pit
It's
bull,
not
and
that.
you'll be fine.
It's the kids, man.
I
It's
look
the
at my
kids.
dog.
You know?
I just need to look at my dog and go.
The kids will be protected.
My dog fucking lies down. My dog listens to everything I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's your dog. I'm just worried about the kid, you know? That's all.
I'm not talking about my wife. My wife does that too.
Uh-huh.
If you're worried about the kids, then get what's known as the nanny dog.
What's that?
My dog, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
That is a pity.
Well, that's a pity.
It's not a pity.
Yeah.
That's a life ender.
A Staffordshire Terrier is the. I mean, there is no dog pit bull. You know, it's just kind of.
No, it's like 9 breeds. I think makes it all.
The Staffordshire Pit Bull Terrier is the softest and most gentle animal, and it's the
The
safest.
Staffordshire Terrier is
around
pretty
kids.
much the main breed that is considered a pit bull.
What you're talking about?
That's not true.
Your dog is cute, though.
Tell me which one is then.
His dog is adorable.
Staffy's small. Staffy's small. I've got American pit bull. They're big.
Yeah, his is, dude. Biscuits,
Mine
what's
was
yours?
big.
Like 35 pounds, something like that?
I'd say he's what? Probably 25 pounds.
Yeah, he's just a little guy. What's yours, dog, John? What is yours? Like 80 pounds, 90
My
pounds?
mom's a big one. It's about 18, 90.
Okay. 18, 80, yeah?
18, 90 pounds out.
But regardless, it's a
Wow.
terrier is a terrier. Its mindset is to
But-
protect.
But in Britain, American pit bulls are banned. They're
Miss-
banned.
Mrs. Lip has corrected me. The Staffordshire Terrier is one of the smallest known
They're
versions
small. They're
of
very
the
small.
right.
Staffordshires.
It's American Pit Bull Terrier is the pit
That's
bull.
what I've got. American pit bulls.
So I apologize.
My
I don't want to spread rumors like Last Dance likes to.
No problem at all.
You know what else is different about them? Staffordshire Terrier, the bite.
Bite.
The American Staffordshires have got an underbite.
Underbite.
The lock when the bite.
Son
It's
of
the
a
lock,
bitch.
yeah.
My
It's
girl's
pressure.
got a underbite.
Ugh.
That's my mom. The jaw hangs over the top.
Cindy.
Speaking of underbites.
What's up? What's up?
This Cypher.
Here's gorgeous George. Look.
How you doing,
What's
Cypher?
y'all, what y'all doing now? The old geezer wants to know.
What's up, Ann? We'll bring back him. And
Hey, man.
Kansas won.
regular visitor, Mr. Lee Howells. In the house.
Hi-yo, Lee Howells. Hey-yo.
What's up?
What's up, dude? How are
Well,
you?
we got a full house.
Man,
Full
look at that.
house. We can fit one more under the laws and bylaws of StreamYard. So,
Where would it go?
Tesla Rocks was on very briefly earlier.
Was he?
I didn't see him.
I must have walked away right at that point.
Good to see you there, Tesla. Come on back. If you want.
Yeah. All you guys, good to see you.
Well, welcome. So everybody doing well? Everyone's good? Cypher?
Almost have too much THC to be on.
Oh,
To be honest, so
I think they call that stoned. Is what they
we
call
talked
it.
about those chocolate squares at an earlier Smokesteve's pub, and I have fallen prey to the chocolate squares.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Chocolate being very fatty, it can slowly digest, and then all of a sudden, an hour or two later, that THC is like whammo right there.
Do you have any Doritos available, Cypher?
I just had a very interesting concoction that I won't bore you with, but it involved Ritz crackers.
Nice.
and cream cheese and and black beans and
Is there a White Castle within walking distance?
yeah, that's driving is right out.
Yeah, White Castle. Wow, man, do people still have those?
We got them.
Jesus.
We got
Do
them.
you still have those?
No kidding. You
They
can
got
go
them in
buy a
Chicago. They got them in
sack of
Chicago.
burgers
Yeah, it's
for
like, I think it's a White Castle's a Midwest thing.
you buy a sack of burgers, right?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
you don't have to buy a sack.
You have to buy a sack.
That's the smallest unit.
Actually, I
Small
think
sack.
Steak and Shake is the sack. Take a home a sack.
Oh,
Is
okay.
Steak and Shake.
You know what I want to try?
Crave Box is White Castle.
Right.
I want to try an Applebee's and I want to try a Wendy's.
Interesting. Yeah. Wendy's, huh?
Who left?
Based.
Oh,
Yeah.
based.
Yeah. He'll be back. 2 minutes.
Cycles
Yeah.
in and out.
Applebee's, you're
In
not
more ways
missing,
than one.
you're not missing much, but Wendy's
Not
has its
much
own.
much.
No, not with Applebee's, but Wendy's has its has a certain
They have
draw.
a square hamburger, don't they?
A squid.
That's
Square.
that's Castle, White Castle.
No,
Oh,
Wendy's are round now. They're round. They
No.
did away with
No,
the
Wendy's.
square.
No, Wendy's still
No,
square.
Wendy's is square.
It's still square.
Is it still
Just
square?
square.
It's a round bun, but it's a square patty.
You know what? You know what I know because I watch American telly and I know. I see the rabbits.
We have a Wendy's. That's one of my the closest thing to my shop. So it's like one of my few lunch choices.
In Scotland we have McDonald's and we have what's the burritos? What's that burrito place?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
We have a Taco
Hell
Bell.
yeah.
Are you talking about? You're talking about an authentic Mexican cuisine. Is what you're talking about.
Damn
Ah,
right.
shit, man. It's rubbish. It's horrible.
I don't
Oh,
eat
that's
at
great.
Taco Bell. Never.
But
Never.
I want to try Applebee's and I want to try Wendy's.
Taco Bell's the other close place to my shop. So
Never. Never.
and
I've
KFC,
got-
KFC. Oh, Popeyes. We do have
KFC.
Popeyes too.
Popeyes. Popeyes is good. I like that
So
wee
you have-
biscuit. What's that wee biscuit you get?
You have a lot of authentic dining choices.
Right. We got Popeyes, KFC, Taco Bell. There's a
The-
pretzel
the
place.
John,
There's a pretzel
for,
place, but it's
frying
really
chocolate.
expensive.
Authentic
Everything you get
Mexican
there.
dining.
The Popeyes. You got biscuit with it, don't you?
Yeah, they give you a biscuit, like a butter biscuit.
Yeah. I want to try that.
KFC.
It's good. Popeyes isn't too bad.
John,
Yeah.
John, I was famous playing chocolates as well. Don't you deep?
What?
Oh,
what
Lee, you're
I can hear you sort of, Lee.
Your
You're asking
internet's
about
your
what about the
internet's not
chocolate?
so great tonight, Lee.
Need that cable.
What?
Is it bad? Yeah.
No, it's okay. Crank
okay.
the volume a
You
little.
were asking me something about the chocolates. I think.
Oh, in Scotland, I was saying to John, famous for frying chocolate bars, deep frying them.
Deep fried Mars bars, deep fried
Sounds
Snickers, mate.
I'm actually talking about medical
Yeah.
marijuana THC chocolate bars, but
I know what he's
those
talking
others
about.
sound good too.
He's talking about deep fried Mars bars and deep fried Snickers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Man,
They're actually good, mate.
Yeah.
You try them.
yeah.
Deep fried.
Ah,
Deep fried.
sounds good. Sounds
Yeah,
very
there's
good.
Trust me, they're amazing.
There's there's a
Oh,
show on rather
I want my kind of iron brew.
there's a show over here on the Travel Channel called Food Paradise. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. I think
Heard of
one
it.
of the food
I
paradises is Deep Fried Paradise, and there's a chip shop in New Jersey that has become famous for deep frying whatever. So Snickers bars, all kinds
Listen,
of.
you need to come to Edinburgh, honestly. You come to Edinburgh, got a chip shop in Edinburgh. You get fucking anything you want.
Deep fried.
Deep
And then
fried.
They
Anything
squirt
you want. Beef
Well,
sauce, anything you
chocolate
want.
sauce and whipped cream and shit on top of it.
Honestly, you get anything you want.
I mean, to me, it does. No offense to the Brits, to you guys, but it's more fascinating because it's bizarre. But I don't really even barely eat candy. But then to deep fry it, it's like,
Man, I really don't eat chocolate. I'd rather eat fruit. I'll eat bananas. I'll eat watermelon. I'll eat fucking oranges. And
wow.
I'd rather eat that kind of food.
Look at that. Well, she's back.
And occasionally I go to Costco to get some pizza and I'll get some of the food out there.
No kidding, huh?
You know,
Can you hear me, lads? Yeah, you can hear me.
When I went to go pee, you guys were still talking about the Will Smith thing. Oh, is that your dog farting again, Based?
He's snoring now.
Anyway,
So
I was thinking to
seconds.
myself as the stream was hitting the water. I was thinking to myself, it seemed like a majority of you are open to the fact that this Will Smith thing is possibly a not as real as. I'm fascinated with that.
Staged.
Have you never paid attention to the chat?
So
no, I have. It always fascinates me when I don't know what to say.
Aphid, why should it fascinate you? You've got two actors on a world stage. Why would that fascinate you?
Before we get into debate, let's go here. Top row here. We all
a lefty.
Open to it being staged. Not that you think it's staged, just open to it.
Let's get the official ruling here. Top row thinks it was real. Is that correct?
You think it's possible that it was staged?
No, I think it was real.
Well, you did post that picture.
No, I just was posting that for information.
But you think that it's possible that it could be fake.
But I said in the end, I don't think it was.
Okay. I take your word for it.
What I meant to say by that was that I see why people could say this.
Okay.
There's ample reasons why you would think that because of Hollywood itself.
Right.
But I don't think that is the case.
Okay.
But I'm not saying I think they're fucking crazy. Like the people who say that Newtown, Connecticut, the shooting with the little kids who say that was fake. Those people I call fucking crazy. The people who call this fake, I'm like, I could see why.
Gotcha.
It's questionable.
I almost thought you were offended because I did go on and on about my thoughts on the thing, and I was waiting for somebody I had to wait for somebody, and I was like just sitting there. I had nothing else to do, so I just kept thinking more and more about it. So I just kept typing more and more out.
No, that's fine.
But I was like, oh, I hope he's not thinks I'm shitting on him or something.
No,
because
not at all.
I don't. Okay.
No, but when I post stuff like that, it's not even because I just found it was interesting the way that somebody dissected the picture of right as the slap was going in, and it said, limp wrist. He's leaning into it.
Right.
They showed a few things. I was like, yeah, I mean that's certainly legitimate. I still don't think it's fake, but I say that there's food for thought. You know.
Right.
What I mean?
Right.
Okay. Topple thinks it was staged. Was it? Topple thinks it. What's the Scottish guy think? Was it staged?
I think fucking Chris Rock movie was coming.
Yeah, okay. Aphid,
100%.
What is that? Is that a yes or no?
Real.
100%. It happened exactly like we saw it.
Okay, so based Welshman fake.
I think it's real.
No way it was real.
And
I think it's real.
Nah.
So we
real,
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that say real, 3 that say fake.
Only 3. Okay. Well, I feel a lot better about humanity now.
The only one I'm surprised about is Lee agreeing it was real. That's the only one I'm surprised about.
Because Lee's always on your side.
Lee.
Well, I thought Lee normally sort of a bit awake to this and
Lee, you're saying Lee's woke?
Awake.
No,
awake.
It's the opposite. Yeah. That's right.
I just think Chris Rock looked genuinely surprised. I just think he was genuinely surprised.
Right.
He's an actor.
Lee, think about it.
He's not that good an actor.
Lee, if someone comes up to punch you in the face, what's your reaction?
Stop.
I'd chin him.
I don't know.
He's fucking attack.
Well, yeah, but he's a lot smaller than Will Smith. I mean, that's another thing.
Yes.
That's another reason why.
Plus, it was he knew it was
to do it because
he knew it was coming.
He knew it was coming. He knew it was coming.
Oh my god! I would never thought we would spend this much time on Will Smith.
So if this was a publicity stunt, right? Now this, like your channel now, you spent an hour talking about it. times that out through all the social media and mainstream media, they're still talking about it a week later, and we don't even know who won any of the awards apart
you
from
know what?
Will Smith.
It's a zero-sum game.
Welshman, think about this. Chris Rock's tour started on Monday.
All right. Look at that. I'm featuring.
Yeah, but like Aethelid said earlier, I mean, Will Smith's potentially ruined his career. So
Hey, how come that
potentially?
How come that random person named Smokesteve's wife gets featured? I don't understand that.
No, look at that. Exactly. Funny though, you're agreeing with yourself.
Base Welshman, you seem confused. I told you before, the mainstream media is only featuring stuff that they see that people are interested in because they want to sell advertising. So the Google searches, yes, the Google searches. People are fascinated with this Will Smith story. I know me and my wife have been all week. We were like waiting for new news to come out and
okay. I agree with you. It's fascinating, right? But my first statement when I brought this subject up was, why isn't mainstream media on either side of the pond even mentioning the fact that his relationship even if they said it had difficulties, can they not talk about this, considering he is a public figure who's done it on a world stage? And why can't the press turn around and say, well, isn't his marriage in difficulties at the moment, and actually then bring it up and actually, come out, so the normies know about it.
How do you know that? How do you know that about?
Oh, Google it, mate. It's even on fucking Google. Put down fucking Will Smith's wife, fucking son's friends.
I'm not saying you're saying it's not being reported, and it is being reported because that's how we all know about it. It is being reported.
No, social media. Social media. You can't give me anywhere.
Hold on.
Maybe we should be proud of mainstream media because they.
Profound storm.
No, they're journalists. They're supposed to find out the truth. I would suggest.
How do you find out? How do you find out the truth, though? I mean, you would have to be there with a reporter filming, the act that you're describing.
No, that's nonsense. That is. There's even photos of her with the son's mate, right? There's photos of them together.
Doesn't that kind of put her under the bus when it's her husband that did the bad deed? She just was offended by it.
When is the press ever protected anyone into this scenario?
But at one hand,
you're talking like
I know
cotton gloves. You're talking about a world actor, right, on a world stage, punching another celebrity or slapping another celebrity, and you're telling me that the mainstream media are being responsible with the contents of the story or the possible contents of the story. You're nuts.
The contents of the story is he slapped him.
Why? Why isn't people saying why? Well, because she's bold.
Nothing about fucking her son's friends.
It seems like it's off the topic, although.
Right.
Fucking hell, boys.
What?
I mean, I think what you're doing is taking two sides of the same. You want to condemn the media for some of the actions, but then you don't want to give them credit for when they.
I'm giving you examples of how the media is so biased, and they'll stick to a narrative, and this is what they've been told.
But how are they?
Again.
Whose side are they on? How are they? They're not on Chris. They're not on Will Smith's side.
Willsman, listen, man. What the gullible Americans.
And the British, well, it might be gullible Americans, but the reality is, right? If you don't think
gullible critical thinking, it's called.
If you don't think that his relationship in the shit it's in right at the moment is part of the story, or could be part of the story, that an investigative journalist shouldn't bring up at any point in any story in the last week. You're mad. You're fucking mad. All of you.
Don't have all the evidence.
It's not really
as a me helping a me or someone. He's getting
evidence.
I mean, it's not really the kind of story you investigate.
Serious evidence? When has the press ever needed evidence?
It's an entertainment slash.
I mean, they impeached Trump on anonymous sources, for fuck's sake.
The news can't impeach somebody.
You're asking for it's not evidence. Well, when has that ever made a fucking joint?
The news has to have sources, otherwise they can be made liable.
Oh, we're not going to go there, Biscuit. But
Biscuit,
we're
Biscuit,
talking
behave
about
yourself.
open relationship.
Just your comment. Just your comment doesn't
Not
make
in our
sense.
country. Maybe
They
in your
need evidence
country,
before they
but not in our
print.
country.
It's not about accusing it. It's suggesting it. They can suggest that their marriage is in trouble, right? And that could have been the leading reason why. Because Will found the joke funny, supposedly, but then all of a sudden didn't.
Well, maybe
I mean,
they don't believe that. So they're
I
not
mean,
going
if
to
you-
say
if
something
you-
they don't
the
believe.
world's media. Keep dreaming, Biscuit.
I certainly hope they don't spend their cycles trying to investigate the deeper meaning behind the slap.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even a deep meaning. It's actually out there. It's actually out there. So journalists should know about it anyway. But they're not even talking about, even mentioning it, because they're protecting a narrative again.
Why would anybody care if his wife is having
Right.
premarital, adultery with somebody else?
Especially when they're trying to protect their credibility. They're not going
Do you know what it reminds me of, chaps? It reminds me of Hunter Biden fucking his dead brother's wife and then fucking his daughter, the niece. That's what it reminds me of. But it's got nothing to do with shit. It's got nothing to do with nothing. That's right, lads. You got it. Nothing to do with nothing.
Maybe the news don't want to be seen attacking somebody who had a medical condition.
Yeah, that's right. They wouldn't want to be seen attacking Hunter for fucking his dead brother's wife and then moving on to his niece, his dead brother's daughter. You wouldn't want to mention that, would you? Oh, and how do you know these things? How do you know these things are real? There's a text thread. It's on social media of the whole thing. Don't be going to. Don't be doing Haley. I've already fucked Haley. It's all in the thread.
Of all the things Hunter Biden has done that are bad, I don't think having sex with someone's widowed wife is.
It was his own brother. He fucked.
Keeps it in the family.
His own brother's widow, and then fucked a 14-year-old niece. Oh God! Stop it, lads.
We were talking about a slap, and now we're on Biden. Or not?
Well, you by ignoring evidence. You by ignoring evidence.
Could shag who she wants.
Yeah, but wait there. But by you saying, "Oh, well, they need evidence and all that to report on it," and like I said, journalists don't need evidence. But saying something like that is it's like mainstream media ignoring the fact of what Hunter Biden has done with his dead brother's wife.
You're saying that there's proven evidence that Hunter Biden had pedophilia sex?
Oh
yes.
God! How do we get
yes.
here?
When was the last time you saw a news article on someone's sex life?
I open up the paper.
If Hunter Biden had sex with a 14-year-old girl, then I think that it would be a bigger news story than you're claiming.
What makes you say that? I don't know why I'm asking this. What makes you say that he's had sex with his 14-year-old niece?
Okay, so if, for example, you would like to see the evidence, which I mostly wouldn't recommend you seeing because it might be a criminal offence, you might understand what I'm saying.
You have the evidence on your computer.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying.
I've seen the text thread, and the text thread it sort of makes it quite clear that he's fucking the niece now. He's moved on. So
he's moved
on from the mother. He's moved on from his sister-in-law to his niece.
So you're saying he's texted out how he's bragging about having sex with an underage girl? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. To the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law.
Oh, that sounds viable, doesn't it?
Well, she said, "Leave Haley alone." He says, "Oh, I've already done it."
What happened to Mr. Obama? Wasn't he fucking hurt too?
There were small white poodle dogs involved. I'm sure of that.
Get that out on Twitter, Cypher, right away.
Well, that's it.
Quickly.
But that's it though, Biscuit. They need evidence to print even suggestions, eh?
Where was that?
I'm just saying it's not exactly the news, is it? The news is Will Smith hit Chris Rock. Well, that's what people want to hear. They're not bothered about Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes, they are, because he hit his wife. He hit Chris Rock because of his wife. So that's the reason, and they are interested in the reason, and they're happy. They're happy that it's alopecia, and they're happy that Pfizer sponsored it, and it's just getting a new alopecia drug out. They're happy about that.
Pfizer. And now we're back to COVID.
No, we're not. We're back to Big Pharma, not back to COVID. We're back to Big Pharma.
Pfizer set the whole thing up.
Didn't you know that Hunter Biden was jabbing his 14-year-old niece?
I mean, I'm surprised none of you saw Dr. Fauci behind the curtains orchestrating this whole thing.
Hunter Biden.
Wait, wasn't yours.
That bastard ruined our country.
That's right.
It's amazing how this conversation from smacking Chris Rock went to everything else.
I'm talking about mainstream media and ignoring stories they should be investigating. A bit like Hunter Biden and his laptop.
This is multiculturalism at play.
This is it. See, you're saying they're not bothered about it, but if it was a different celebrity, they'd be definitely bothered about it. But because it's a protected class, Hunter Biden and Will Smith, they're not interested, and that's what you can't see.
Do you think they should be? Do you think they should be investigating Clarence Thomas's wife and her involvement?
No, I think they should. I think journalists should be journalists and be left to investigate.
So they should only be investigating stuff that you're interested in.
Yeah. No, they should be. They should be doing their job. They should be doing their job description.
I see. I think you made it clear.
Do you have more evidence, Aphid, about your what you've been looking
about? What she's been up to in the past
messages and all
20 years. It's not about her text messages. It's about her. I think there's a complete double standard on how people are interested in this double standard of Hunter Biden. You know, and it doesn't really have. I don't think there's been any real link to his father. What? And then I hear people on Fox News this morning saying the election would have been completely different if this news about Hunter Biden would have been out, which I can't see how they can with a straight face say that.
So wait there. So wait. Sorry, Aphid, but the story was suppressed before the election. Right, because it was seen as fake, and it was done on all platforms. Even I couldn't share it. You couldn't even fucking direct messages it to someone. And then a year later, it's true.
It's true. It's true. Aphid.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, mate.
Okay.
Do you think it was coincidence that Hunter had a job with the utility company in the Ukraine for $400 to $500K a year?
No, I mean he absolutely got that because of who his father was.
Do you think that's of no connection to his pops?
So isn't that something that should be investigated? Aphid, isn't that something that should be investigated?
Of course it should be investigated. I think everything should be investigated, but I'm not biased on what should be investigated. Like pretty much every single other person that lives in the world is. But I think everything should be investigated.
What?
Okay, but we all knew that he was part of this Burisma company before. We know that he doesn't speak Ukrainian, and we know he knows fuck all about gas, about crack pipes. Yes, gas. No. Right. So wait there. We knew that last year. So why weren't they investigating that last year when we knew this last year and they called it a complete fake story and took it off all social media worldwide and it's systematically taken off? Doesn't that raise any question marks, even though we knew that last year?
Yeah, of course it does.
I think it wasn't Hunter Biden.
I think you're missing my point.
Deal. It was somebody who was in partnership with that made the deal.
There's all kinds of people that should be investigated. There's all kinds of connections with family members that should be looked at.
John Kerry,
but I think that people
Nancy
like you
Pelosi's children
and even people like Last Dance refuse to look
Trump's
at
children in
other
Ukraine?
people that's
No.
not interested in their own narrative and what they want to. You know,
Well, Nancy
they want
Pelosi's
to
kids
think
are big in Ukraine.
People like you want to look at stories that interest you only and want to ignore other stories. people like me and maybe people like Smokesteve are interested in all stories.
Okay.
If it involves
you give me a
all
big
stories.
story. You give me a big story that you would think that I haven't been interested in the last year, 2 years.
This whole Clarence,
right? There's
Clarence
a big
Thomas's
scandal.
wife and what she's been up to for the past 20 years, I think should interest everybody. And I don't think anybody should think that it's any less of a story than the Hunter Biden story is. This is a Supreme Court justice that his wife is going out promoting these things and is definitely more involved and more closer to the relationship with the person, Clarence Thomas, than Hunter Biden is. You never hear Joe Biden talking about Hunter Biden. He brings up Bo every time he's up there, but he doesn't talk about Hunter.
Well, he gets confused.
He's not, and until I see some signs that he changed some legislation or changed some policy or changed some anything to do with protecting his son, then I don't see why it's relevant at all.
Okay, not protecting his son, but this video of him on which has now been taken down from YouTube, of him actually literally saying in an audience of people, of like 500 people, that he was holding back $1 billion in aid, right?
Right, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Now he said you either fucking sack the prosecutor or you don't get the money.
Yeah, well, what was that prosecutor? You think that prosecutor didn't do anything wrong?
And I'm not saying he did wrong. I'm not saying he did wrong, but you can't do that.
You're loosely linking that to him. You're loosely linking that to Hunter because of your narrative.
I didn't mention Hunter then. I actually started.
I'm telling you that there was nothing wrong with what he said about that prosecutor. What is wrong with what he said about the prosecutor?
So he basically bribed him, blackmailed the country to sack the prosecutor. So he is now integrally involved in a sovereign country.
You are loosely linking the two.
You're backtracking.
No, I'm not.
You're saying what's wrong with that?
A sanction.
Well, I tell you what's wrong with it. You blackmailed a sovereign country.
Let's go back to it. What is wrong with what he said about him? Wait, hold on. What is wrong with what he said about him? Did he say anything wrong about him? Did he say anything that wasn't true? Did he twist or turn anything that wasn't absolutely true about what he was saying about that prosecutor?
We don't know, do we?
You didn't answer my question.
No, we don't know. We don't know whether it's true or false what Joe Biden says. We don't know.
Why don't you look into the prosecutor?
What I do know is what came out of Joe Biden's mouth.
Because it sounds like you didn't look at. It sounds like you didn't look into the prosecutor because you like the narrative that you're sitting behind.
$1 billion in guaranteed aid unless they sack the prosecutor. Now you're bribing, blackmailing a sovereign country to do with it.
Well, I'll sit back and I'll ask Last Dance because I'm sure Last Dance knows. Did he say anything wrong about the prosecutor, Last Dance?
I didn't say he did say anything wrong. I just said he sacked him. Want him sacked.
I don't agree that he should have demanded that the prosecutor be sacked. I mean, everybody in Ukraine is and the Ukraine government is corrupt in one sense or another. It's not. I guarantee you, the guy that replaced that prosecutor was at least as corrupt as the
probably so.
And I mean, it's
exactly.
Now, I'm not saying that he wanted the prosecutor replaced to protect Hunter or something else that involves him. I'm not.
That wasn't the accusation, was it? What it was that Joe Biden is literally blackmailing and bribing foreign countries.
Well, that's just standard interference in foreign affairs.
Exactly.
That's just the standard terrible operating procedure of our government.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have Biden's hands.
So wait there.
He was the vice president at the time. It's not like he was some.
Trump makes a phone call and gets impeached.
Standard terrible.
Joe Biden openly says he's going
to. I hear what Bass is saying.
Welshman, listen.
I hear what he's saying too.
But he's saying it after the fact that we know what it's linking the two that doesn't necessarily have to be linked.
I'm not linking the two.
Biden should have been impeached for what he did.
He was
vice president when he did that, and he should have been impeached.
The point, I think.
Should have been impeached.
I don't know if you can impeach the vice president.
I don't know.
Well, that's immaterial.
Can anybody hear it?
Impeach him anyways.
Impeach.
We'll sort it all out later.
Well, you know what? Let's make it a crew of 9 crazy people.
All right.
Welshman, can you hear me? Welshman.
Hello.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Listen,
Good, thank you. Good to see you.
Welshman, can you hear me?
No,
he
can't
left.
now no more.
Left.
Oh, what the
Oh my
fuck?
God,
All right.
He felt the heat, is
He
why.
knew you were getting ready to kick ass. He left.
He's been doing
Now,
that.
here's a question for you guys: should Trump be tried for treason?
Should Trump be tried? Is that what you said?
For
I don't see why for
what
treason.
would be the treasonous thing he did?
Yeah.
Well, talking goody terms with
Main tweet?
Putin.
I'm only going to say this once. Even if that were true, that's not treason.
Yeah.
You gotta be out of that goody talk.
Exactly. I mean, if it was goody, now that's treason.
No.
Right out with the triple goody, double goody, no problem.
The next president, like, I mean, the guy. Where would the line be crossed for treason with that?
You could try a lot of politicians for treason.
The line, there is no line to cross. You cannot. The only thing you could do to a president is impeach him. I don't believe you can actually try him for treason, even if he handed all the military secrets to the enemy. All you could do is impeach him. Now, if he's no longer in power and he does that, then you could try him for treason.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Right. So
I'm talking about the talks that he's been having recently.
Right, the very recent ones. That's what
I think that Bill Barr thought exactly like what Last Dance just said too. I don't think he likes Trump, but I think that he just there is hardly any lines that a president can cross.
But he's not a president now, so
nobody's going to get
having
that far.
talks with a war criminal at the moment. Surely that shouldn't be allowed.
It's not treason. We're not at war with Russia.
What war criminal?
Right.
Putin.
What did he do wrong?
Well, Trump was a war criminal too. Every U.S. president's a war criminal. So they should all vacation together at war criminal estates.
That is true.
Let's make it 9 with our very own war criminal, Base Welshman.
Base Welshman.
Sorry about the reception today, lads.
That's all right.
Oh,
we heard you clear today.
With your reception is fine.
We did. I don't think any of us wish we heard you any clearer, Baseball.
Now, come on.
So let's go back to Topple in the center there. Green, as I call the Hulk.
Irrespective of all the corruption, the bigger picture is this: you had a president, you had the election between Trump and obviously Biden. They're on stage, and Biden says there is a laptop. It's all fake news in Russia. We find out.
That's
later,
right.
So the bigger picture is: would Biden won the election? That came out at the time saying he's live stage. I mean, for a democracy, the free world that America is, the lecturer put up with the fact that he's just gone on live on TV lying. And that's
lied.
It doesn't matter about all the corruption in Ukraine. Fact is, Biden is bloody about his son's laptop. He was there and he said, "It's news. You're talking rubbish, Trump." Well, now he's not. Like Trump or not, that's true.
Great point, Lee. Great point. Because I'll be funny. He's been given a free pass from lying.
Either, though, is he?
Base.
Wait a minute. A president getting a free pass for lying? Come on.
But he lied.
That's never happened.
He lied on the biggest show in town, which was him and fucking Trump, right? And he lied outright to a straight question. And as it turns out, a year later, it's a complete fucking lie.
I'm not saying I'm last person I want to stick up for is Joe Biden.
It's not.
But is there any now? Do you have any proof that Joe Biden did know that wasn't fake news before when he said that?
Yeah. What was the question again, Lee? It was to do with the laptop in the shop.
Right.
That's what the question was.
The Delaware shop, yeah.
Remember, Joe is not the same as Hunter.
And he lied, and it turns out he said he has no connections with Hunter's dealings at all.
Like the famous Joe Costanza says, it's not a lie if you believe it. And I believe that Joe Biden could have believed. What?
George Costanza.
What did I say, Joe?
Joe.
God damn it!
Those
Because
emails
it's
that,
his
can
brother
read those
Joe.
emails.
His brother had
And they always saying inside
his brother Joe
those
had the same
emails,
thoughts
they say,
George did.
Don't forget the big guys.
10%. Don't forget the big guy's
Biden's
10%. And Joe Biden's nickname is the big guy.
Why?
It's the biggest chunk of the cash.
Yeah.
No.
We all believe the news is biased. We all
Exactly.
know
That's what you're seeing.
The news that you're watching is biased towards the other side.
Yeah, the
no doubt
news
about
we
that.
are all watching. The news we are all watching is the same.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, they're
seen that.
Because it's all the same. That's why I feel it's all the fucking same.
There's two different news sources, and
It's all being different now, and they're presenting.
I'm sure of it.
The emails.
right news and there's left news, but there's no center news.
That's right.
Who's
That's
the
very
closest
sad.
to center? Who do you think is the
I knew
closest?
about them emails before the election.
One of your-
I got them on Live Leak. I didn't get them from Legacy
No, I don't know of
or
any
all
that are
the other
close. They're
people
all
who
very
denied
far on
that
one side or
laptop
the other.
even existed.
Lively
Yeah.
had a lot of stuff.
That's right.
But that
You couldn't
laptop,
talk about it on main. You couldn't talk about it on normal social media about the laptop.
Yeah.
There's only things like that you could, or Telegram.
but the laptop, would that change the results of the election?
Absolutely.
How do you know? It would have. It wouldn't have. It would have helped.
Well,
Trump, I don't know.
Well, I tell you what, Topple.
I don't know that it would have
They
changed the
done a
results,
snap.
but it,
They done a snap.
it was a very close
thing.
election.
Let's
in the
let's
Smokesteve.
keep in mind
They
that
asked people. They asked people in a snap poll, and they said it would have changed their opinion.
They didn't have
that means something. Let's keep in mind that before Trump got elected, he admitted and recorded video that he sexually took advantage of women because of his power.
You're whatabouting.
No, I'm just
Who's that?
saying, and it did not change. It did not change. You know,
Hey,
people still
Hey,
voted
Fitz, and
for
you're
this
happily
guy.
married. You're heterosexual, and you've
You
got a
have
problem with some. You
There's
got
some
a
question
problem
about that
with
here.
a bloke saying on a bus, in a private bus, "Oh, she fucking wanted it." I'll
No, I got a problem with a guy bragging that with his power he can do whatever he wants with a woman. And if I had a friend
Wow.
that said that to me,
Hey,
I would
Fizz.
never talk to him again. Look, if you want to lower your standards and be cool with somebody that's a dick and wants to brag about his power and his money, being able to
You
do
don't
whatever
need-
he wants to a
you don't
woman,
need wealth
then
and
that's on
power.
you.
You can do
I'm
that
not.
with
I'm
confidence.
not going to call you out on it.
If you ever boasted and said something that is not true, but you've just said it because you're in an environment where there's loads of women about, there's loads
Have
of blokes
I
about.
ever
Your
bragged
mind
about
gets
taking
your mind
advantage
gets
of a
bit
woman?
scrambled,
No.
and you just
No.
and shit comes out of your mouth.
I surround myself with people that I talk to that I don't need to brag about.
I said if you ever
lifting
been
up
in a
how I
situation,
brag
Fig,
about
I'm not
taking
saying it
advantage
now.
of a woman
I'm not
because of
saying
my
it now.
power.
Taking
No.
advantage of a woman.
I don't care when it was
that's what
when I'm in
that's
my
what
life. And
that's
I
what-
never have done that where I've used my bragged about my power and wealth to take advantage and do whatever I want with a woman. No, never. And I wouldn't respect somebody that did.
Well, I have.
Well,
You can do that.
I mean,
You're a heterosexual man, Steve, aren't you? You're a heterosexual man. There we
No,
go.
I mean, like back in the old days, we'd be used to write raps and shit, and often like the late '90s, early 2000 raps were misogynistic about like that sort of thing, like bitches and hoes and shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
but bitches and hoes. But did you say that because of your wealth, they would allow you to do whatever you wanted to them?
It was written
What's
in a
so
little
upsetting
bit
about
more-
that? Wealth gets you
What is
everywhere.
so upsetting about it? I guess I
specifically
have
said-
different. I guess I have different morals than you do because I do.
So you
find
can
it-
call her a slag. You can call her a slag and stuff, like Steve said, and call her a whore, and she's a bike or whatever. But you can't turn around and say, "Oh, I'm not being funny." Right?
Calling some
you've
girl
got
a
the power,
whore that is
when
a
you've got
whore
the
is
power and the
something
cash
different.
I have, they'll do anything. I mean, you're so offended by that, but you can call the
Right,
bitch a
I am
whore.
offended by it. I am offended by it. If you're
Okay,
not,
all
that's
right.
fine. That's on you.
Steve, you want to speak to his wife? He told her that he was a millionaire before he married her.
Yeah, I mean,
Look. If I'm talking to my buddies, all right, and he wasn't a young teenager kid like Smokesteve's saying. This guy was at the time he was in his 50s, I believe. So
Well,
if he's in his 50s or 60s, and I'm talking with my friends, and some 50-year-old dude comes and starts bragging about with his wealth, he can do whatever he wants to a woman. You think I'm not going to be like, what a fucking slime ball, and not, you think I'm going to want to like trust trust this guy to like run my country?
What was your point anyways about this?
I'm thinking you have a
But you were saying that
sister
even
or
when that came out, he still won the election.
Because what I'm saying is with that, okay, with that he won the presidency.
But how do you know that didn't cost him votes?
Hold on, you're right. So with he's the one running. You're trying to tell me that with a guy's son that's running that does some questionable things that it's going to change your vote for that person because his son did
questionable things.
It would have changed some votes.
Some son. The way you describe it is so
possible. But look at the electoral college. It was not a close.
And then you say teenage girl. She wasn't a teenage girl.
It wasn't like, as close as Hillary Clinton.
I've seen the video. She's like pushing 25.
Maybe Last Dancing would be as close as it was with him.
She mostly works
all I'm
in the
saying
night.
really is
she wasn't a teenage girl,
can't
was she?
Discount it.
But you can't discount it. But you can't sit there on national. You can't sit there on national TV and look at a camera and tell everybody that the election would have been different because of this information.
No, I can't say it definitely would have been. I said I would.
Well,
say
I'm saying that's what the people are saying.
Yeah,
and that's what I have a problem with.
He shouldn't be on the campaign trail.
No. Think about the son's angle.
Hunter got kicked out of the military, and he didn't even have to go through boot camp. And he had all this money from the Bank of China.
Yeah, £3 million from China.
And his dad gets it.
His dad, there's no proof his dad got that money.
Oh God!
They started a bank account.
This is so disingenuous, right? You've got the vice presidents, now presidents, right? And his son is up to his fucking neck in cocaine, whores, children, CP videos, Ukraine deals, China deals, and Russia deals, and we got Aphid in the corner here thinking it's no big deal.
You know what?
What about that son of some politician?
Well, he didn't say it was no big deal.
I never said it was no big deal, and you're sitting there saying that they did this to Trump and they did that to Trump, but yet you're throwing it all out the window when you talk about Hunter Biden. That's the double standard that I'm talking about. I think both of them are a big deal, and both of them should be looked at. I'm not saying we should discredit either one of them.
They looked at fucking Trump. They looked at Trump before he was in office. They still were looking at Trump. They looked at Trump every day he was in office, trying to get him on something, trying to get him on something.
Yeah, and they've been looking at Hunter Biden too. So is it Hunter Biden in jail right? Is Hunter Biden in jail right now? Is Hunter Biden in jail right now?
I can't.
He's got a lot more evidence than Trump does.
You can't look at it because you don't want to admit to your double standard.
The thing is, you're the one with the double standards. Trump's been investigated since before he was in office. They've turned a blind eye to fucking Creepy Joe's son's laptop and all his fucking business, my ass, activities, right? They've turned a blind eye to it. In fact, they blocked it for over 9 months. And you're coming out with, two-faced, and you're not like, it's like nonsense talk. It's like
I'm so lost now.
It's like the one side is not to be investigated and turn a blind eye to, and the other side's investigated full time. One side's not getting
investigated. They're both sides were investigated.
No.
I'll say this: that in terms of the press, since Fox doesn't really do investigations, the mainstream media only investigates Republicans. That much is true because that's just how it is.
Yes.
But you keep using the word they, and they is not a monolith. And the FBI, I think, actually is investigating the Hunter Biden laptop for what it's worth. I mean,
they lost it though. They lost it, man. They lost it last time.
I mean, everything's been published anyway, so it's...
Yeah, exactly. But they actually lost it.
Did they lose the laptop, really?
Yeah, the laptop they were given, they lost. The FBI lost, honestly. Is it Mike Gates mentioned it the other day? And he was speaking to the FBI guy, and he said, I'm not here to talk about that. And he answered the question, though. He said, we don't know where it is. I don't know where the laptop is. It's lucky they took copies, eh? Yeah. You can't make this shit up. The FBI, right, losing documents on the vice president's son. There's some shit on it. What's on it? The computer guy said loads of CP stuff. You're like, what? Oh, we'll just lose that somewhere in a cupboard.
Yeah, we've all
That's
heard
pretty
that
pathetic.
before, though.
And Aphid says it's been investigated.
Yeah, but they've lost so much stuff over so many years for so many important cases. It's almost it's comical.
Oh, they're not losing it though, Steve.
Of course,
Steve, they're not. They're not losing it.
That's the point. It's obviously purposeful on some level.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's no way they're fucking losing it.
But it's been investigated fully. It's all been investigated. You know.
Well, it might be being investigated right now, but the press isn't looking at it so
interested.
much like they did.
They're not even interested, do they?
Oh, I hear what you're coming from.
I hear just as much about Hunter Biden as I do pretty much anything else.
Where do you hear it from?
Yeah,
but I hear from Twitter. I hear from Fox News.
Social
I hear.
Can you imagine seeing the footage?
Can
you imagine seeing the footage?
I mean, every time you turn anything on, you hear about Hunter Biden.
Well, is there?
He's not the president of the United States. Donald Trump was the president of the United States.
No, he's the son. He's the son that was clearly getting kickbacks from China, Russia, and Ukraine.
I agree with you that it's all wrong.
I mean, I don't care if he gets the money.
Yeah, I don't.
But Biden is.
I don't see what it has to do with, until there's some link with the president of the United States.
Exactly.
Well, like Lee said, he lied on the stage.
He only lied.
Might not have known.
Yeah,
they all lied.
I could believe he'd lie, but I also can believe
exactly. I agree.
That he might not know.
I agree politicians lie, but he's lying over a particular subject, which is very, very sort of important. It's not like, a simple lie,
I mean, seriously, Trump lied like every single day. Every press conference he lied, And I didn't hear you on here then when he was talking about how Trump lied this last week.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about. The double standard of it, you just.
Yeah, but you're on about figures that
you've been talking about Hunter Biden for like a half an hour now, and I never heard you talk I never heard you talk 30 seconds about how Trump.
Okay, well, I'll agree with you that Trump will say things that aren't true and are exaggerated sometimes. Right? I'm not denying any of those things, but when you've got a candidate,
it never bothered you.
On the
stage, It never bothered you.
But when you've got a candidate on stage,
it bothered me. It bothered me that you got someone like Trump who's lying, and
it should bother you.
But my point is, and has always been, that upon realizing that if we had realized this laptop's real, there's no doubt about it. So to deny that on stage to win an election. If people had found out about that,
it's not a little lie. It's a massive lie.
I think you're misconstruing that I don't think it's wrong.
No,
if Joe Biden lied, then we should be concerned about it. What I'm saying is the double standard is
not that he lied.
Trump
he
lied
over
day,
a very
and you're
particular question.
On one
it turns out
lie that Joe Biden might have done if he knew about it. But you never brought up anything on your own. I didn't, Lee, you were never on here, but Base Welshman's been on here. When Trump was president, he never on his own brought up any lie that Trump ever made. Never. And you're going to sit here for half an hour and complain about something that you don't even know that he lied about?
They impeached him. How can you say that? They tried to bring in.
No, I didn't say about them.
He's so disingenuous. He's so disingenuous. He thinks Trump wasn't investigated before he was in office. He was investigated.
I never said anything about any investigation. I said you were never concerned about.
You give the impression that Trump's guilty as fuck of loads of things, right?
When did I do that?
And could have been impeached, but he's literally they tried to impeach him from day one, but they found fuck all.
I'm pointing out your double standard, and if I'm the only one that sees it, then I'm totally fine with it.
They're going to get Trump on something. I tell you now, they're going to get Trump on something. You cannot be that successful and not have done something wrong at some point in your fucking life.
So Joe Biden. So you're saying Joe Biden wasn't successful?
No. They're trying to get him on
anything. Was only
they'll get him on tax evasion. They'll get him on something. They'll get him on something. That's what they'll do. They keep on going. But when it's glaring you in the face, there's a big fucking huge story, bigger than Watergate, straight in front of you. You'll turn around and fucking ignore it, and in fact block it.
Well, no, that's not happening. I mean, it's now being investigated. It really is. But I mean, from Aphid's point of view, I totally agree about the double standards. I think you're absolutely right. But my point has always been that if you've got somebody who's trying to win an election who blatantly lies, he knew about that laptop, it's becoming apparent with all the emails now that are being released and being presented to, I think it's Congress, then it just means it could have swayed the election. Let's not forget, from my understanding, from what we were told, the election was on a knife edge. You know, he just won it. Now, if there'd been a swing of 1%, 2%, because there was a lie told, and he's trying to convince the country he's the right man for the job, it could have well been that Trump had got a second term. That's my point. But as for your double standards comment, Adflip, absolutely. Look, it would be right to believe that Biden's lying. The story when the election was that that Trump was with some guys that were your players or whatever in a bus, and then he was some woman. I've got to believe that if I'm going to believe Biden. He did, although he said he didn't. Totally take
look. Okay, look.
Biden knew.
I think. First of all,
big news.
I think we need to change the subject. But what I want to finish this off with is I think if you're going to look at the steps that each candidate took to go through to try to overturn or try to influence this election, I think you're short-sighted if you want to look at Joe Biden. Besides that, what my frustration is with everybody, not just the American public, with everybody, is that you should look at everything is wrong, everything that is lied about, everything that is cheated to try to win, and not just focus on one thing or another. And each side, because I'm one of the few that sees in the center that is just so focused on just what one side does and talks about what one side does and refuses to look at what was wrong everywhere, and nothing is ever gonna hold on. Nothing is ever gonna get changed. Nothing is ever gonna get fixed if we just take our partisan sides and sit there and scream about what one side does over the other.
But the thing is, I take saying, let's look at why single in on one thing. Some things take priority. This was about a man heading the most powerful country in the world. And therefore, it becomes a priority. Yet we have to look more closely. I mean, the gaps.
Yes, you have to look more closely. But I said, when you're talking about both candidates, I think it's completely short-sighted to look at Joe Biden over the other side.
And he might not have been in his position if he was a liar. He's the most powerful man in the world. And so that takes for me. Yeah, we can look at everything, but hang on a minute, what's happening with this? Potentially dangerous or whatever it might be. So,
but seriously, with an open hand, I mean, you would do a fist, wouldn't you, if you wanted to punch the guy? Wouldn't you use a fist?
About Hunter?
What about Chris Rock?
Aphids pull it out.
No, I think that the three of us might be interested in this conversation, but
is it time for the aphid minute yet?
Oh, unfortunately, you weren't here earlier, but Biscuit Vapes ruined the aphid minute this week.
I did.
He ruined it.
Oh, I did.
There was an aphid minute all in ready to go, and Last Dance. It was all based on a lie.
It was all based on a lie.
It was all based on an April Fool's joke.
Basically, probably. Was that April 1st when you posted that?
I think it was. Was it? Who knows?
It seemed like it might have been a day before April Fools.
Are you guys talking about that 98%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
98%.
I saw that. I was like, yeah, bullshit.
I didn't think it was.
You're a better man than either of us.
I totally believed it.
Oh, you know what? These times of days, yeah, I could understand.
Hook, line, and sinker, I bought it. I was like, I cannot believe these fucks. You know, I can't believe them.
1,000 apologies.
Because I started thinking to myself,
I told you I believed it.
I totally bought it. I totally bought it.
I'm such a liar.
It was so buyable. It was like the most buyable since the guy put his kid in that tinfoil balloon and sent him into space. It was.
I wonder what would happen with those guys.
Wasn't that the one in the bed? He was in the bed?
No, he was downstairs.
He was in the garage.
He was in a garage closet or something in a basement.
He was in the outside garage roof, like the 6-year-old. Yeah, he was stuffed in the root space.
You know a lot about U.S. news. Biscuit, are
Yeah.
you the same way? Is that just big over there? You guys
Well, what do they got going on over there? Nothing.
Yeah.
They
So-
got some queen that's about to die.
Well, she's not going to die.
Wait
this
there, wait
year.
there. Do you know what? Hey, Topple, do you know a channel called Internet Historian?
No, I don't follow these things.
Well, he done a big story about it, yeah, it was like an investigative thing. That's why I know. But yeah,
No, it just amazes me because I don't know shit about your country, and I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
mean or anything. You
No.
guys know so much about ours.
it was a huge story, mind you. Even that broke that come across the pond as that crazy story, you know, like not like a political story, but like one of those crazy stories that come across the pond.
Stupid Americans, look at them. Well, look what they're doing.
Well, it was all.
You know,
All
based.
of
I
our
don't know
news
if you
about-
realize this.
either about COVID or world news.
Yes.
The Biden laptops were actually worse. They were worse than you realize, because the reason that these social media platforms even had this policy in place was because of an earlier leak that harmed the Democrats. The what's his name?
Hillary.
Hillary. The emails.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what's the guy who's in prison in UK right now? Assange.
Yeah.
Julian.
Snowden.
Yeah.
And
Oh, is it Edward Snowden or Julian
No,
Assange?
it's Julian
Oh, no,
Assange.
it's Assange, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they came up with this new policy, namely to protect the Democrats, that they
Very
will
good
not,
last dance.
They will not publish hacked items. That was their policy. Even though there's no reason not to publish hacked items. Those are the most newsworthy items there are. But they never had any evidence that the Hunter Biden emails were hacked. There was not a shred of evidence of that. There was never any evidence. There was never any evidence.
And that's what they used to kill it,
Right.
didn't they?
That is what they used.
But
And when they finally changed their mind and decided to pursue it, the evidence that was out there never changed. They simply got too much pushback from people, and they could no longer defend their decision. It wasn't that there was somehow more evidence that they were legitimate. It was always the same amount of evidence. It was obvious from the very beginning that the Hunter Biden stuff was all legitimate.
Have you with that? Well, is it something you've actually looked at all, without going into great detail?
No, I haven't looked. I'm not.
You haven't looked at the information on the laptop, no?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen the summaries of it. You know, it's
yeah.
I doubt there's anything there. I mean, that's not something you want to hear, but I'm sure mostly it's just Hunter Biden trying to make himself important to get money so that he can
to get money for the family, eh?
Well, no, for him.
Don't forget the big guy, 10%.
No, he doesn't. He's not in it for the money.
No, the big guy, 10%.
The big guy's not in. Yeah, I saw that, and who knows what that meant? If he meant it was his father, then he probably planned on taking his 10% and using it on for his fun, for his own purposes.
He's known as the big guy in the that's his nickname with his family members.
Yeah, I understand, but it doesn't mean that the big guy demanded 10%. It just means that Hunter Biden demanded 10% for the big guy. Without
he said, "Don't forget 10% for the big guy." That's what it was, wasn't it?
Well, guys, I've reached my tiredness threshold. I'm going to go to bed.
Well, it's good having you, Biscuit.
Good night,
Nice one,
Biscuit. Good to
Biscuit.
see you.
See you, Biscuit.
Yeah.
See you, man.
See you
Nice
all
to see you,
again.
man. Cheers, man.
I'll put the phone on in the audio mode and listen to the rest of the show.
All right, dude. That's good.
All right.
Cheers, man.
See you later. See you next week.
Bye, dude.
But the thing is, in the press, they won't commit to any standards.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Whether it's social media or Fox News or CNN, there are really no standards that anybody will commit to, because they want to be infinitely flexible. Not to pursue the news, but to pursue a narrative.
Last dance. I just want investigative journalists to be investigative journalists. For the last 20 years, It's just a government line, whichever government it is. It's just a government line. The press will follow the government line, the government narrative, just like Last Stand is saying.
It's sadly true. No matter who's in power, if it's Trump in power, Fox News will do nothing but spout whatever the government says. If it's the Democrats in power, CNN will just have government. Whatever the government says, they will repeat.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
I know people say, well, there's always the other guys who are questioning it, but that shouldn't be how it is. Everybody, all the press should always be skeptical.
I look at it all times. I look at investigative journalists like I look at bailiffs, like I look at estate agents. They're just scum.
Yeah.
They're just because they are
estate agents.
They've got a responsibility. They've got a responsibility to tell the truth, right? If the last 2 years, sorry.
It's known as a realtor in America, like an estate agent.
Yes.
Is that
That's
right?
what we call them.
Yeah.
Realtor.
Oh, realtor, estate agent, yeah.
Yeah.
Or real estate agents is sometimes another word.
Yeah, we hate them in the UK.
Yeah.
Here's one thing, though. This, without going too, just consider this, though, right? If the media probably is, there's a narrative, there's propaganda, blah blah. Ultimately, it's about control. So if you're able to control your population, yeah. What would it be like to them with a complete freedom? Would society start to collapse? Because it might be hard to contemplate, but maybe it's the only option to keep everybody in control. Human beings are pretty fucking crazy. So maybe you've put things in place to keep sort of control, because otherwise just go around killing people they want or whatever. So ultimately it's needed. Just
I hope not. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, Lee.
It's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, are people having trouble listening to Lee?
Yeah, a little trouble.
Try turning your camera off. Leave your audio on and see if that gets better.
But then we won't be able to see his face.
Okay. Don't worry about his face. It's his voice I want to hear.
We need at least one model for the to attract viewers.
Is that
we got?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Hopefully, we'll in time we'll find out. Right. But yeah, hopefully, Lee.
Yeah.
You sound a lot like that Lee Howells guy that used to come on.
You guys want to keep the show going, or what do you think here?
Yeah.
We're good, right?
I do, yeah.
Smokesteve is like,
how about you? You're looking a little...
No, I'm not. I have to run upstairs, but I'm going to come back.
Well, we won't... Drink. We'll keep you on if you go upstairs.
Make sure to bring a shot back. That'll keep you going.
Oh, nice idea.
Right. This is where we talk racism and all this.
Yeah, when he leaves. Hold on. Be quiet.
I'm joking. You don't trust me, Steve?
No, I do.
Yeah, he trusts me.
Oh my God, Jesus, really?
Oh my God.
He's the first one.
He trusts the guy with the green skin, absolutely.
The
Have
puss.
we spoken about COVID yet?
No, but we were hoping to.
You fucker.
I mean, we were all waiting to.
Well, if you want to,
I was just joking, base.
Okay. Well, I'll mention it if you want to in your Miami Tennis Open. 15 professionals pulled out, 2 in the quarterfinals.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
honestly, they don't know. They don't know why. But 15 professionals pulled out during the tournament.
With no reason given?
Well, they seem to have difficulties in fucking breathing, and I'm trying to be sarky.
Oh, no, don't start with
what tournament?
Not that again. Can't we have some other kind of...
Can
I pick a different conspiracy theory to talk about?
Earth flat, chemtrails.
There we go. The Earth looked flat to me today.
Last dance, I want, but there's loads of articles saying that 15 professionals pulled out during the tournament.
I'm not disputing that.
I would suggest that would be something to look into, but there we go.
Okay.
Maybe put a link in the chat, and Last Dance will click on it.
I'm sure he won't. But then I like to learn things. I'm sure.
So what happened with that Maxine chick? She said go home homeless people or something. Did you guys see that or anything?
No, Maxine
Waters?
Waters, yeah.
Oh, she's great, isn't she?
Yeah, she's always.
I love her.
She never.
I can't get enough of her.
Everything she says, it's like straight from.
Oh man, it's
something
so
happened.
Awesome.
And homeless people were doing something, and she told them to go home or something. I saw a little blimp of it. No, supposedly that's what happened. I was wondering if you guys read up on it.
I don't have her favorited on Twitter.
No, you don't?
No.
She's a hoot and a holler.
She is she should I just don't understand how people like her get elected. I just don't get it.
She's from California, right?
Is that where she's from?
She's from California.
Where at in California?
I think L.A. I'm not.
So the L.A. area thinks that she's the best representative.
Well,
oh come on!
Look at
so many
California.
crazy representatives. I mean, I would have to say that the majority of Congress are batshit crazy.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Right there, we got the most popular vice president ever in him. You know, Camilla Blowjob Harris.
Oh, I don't think
so.
I think she might.
Well, she was in single digits once. She was the bottom of the bottom. She had 2%, didn't she?
What was Bush's? What was those two are got to be close to the bottom.
Yeah,
of the
Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle.
I agree.
Dan Quayle. Yeah.
Those two they stand together.
Everything she says, I just like cringe to hear what's.
It is amazing.
And people were thinking that she was going to control, like she was controlling Joe Biden.
Right.
I thought that was going to be the case.
It's pathetic.
She can't even fucking string a sentence together.
Oh, she's horrible.
It's a good thing that the vice president doesn't have a job at all.
Right.
Yes.
But even though, I mean, there's been decent as much as people hate him. What's the global warming dude?
Gore.
Al Gore.
Al Gore. He filled that role somewhat, more than she has. I mean,
well, nobody could be as bad as Quayle or Kamala. I mean, nobody could be as bad.
Joe Biden even he was a decent vice president.
Well, he's sure better than Kamala.
Well,
Did you see? That's not saying a lot.
Did you see what Piers Morgan said? Piers Morgan said that it's the frightening thing about her. He said the frightening about her is that it's one heartbeat away from being president, because obviously Biden could just cut at any time.
Yeah,
it's the most frightening thing.
And then after Harris is Pelosi.
It is.
That's
frightening.
why
And
I was a huge I always forget his name. The guy that ran for president, and he picked the chick from Alaska.
Powell.
Sarah
Powell.
McCain.
Yeah.
McCain. I was a big McCain fan. That's probably the last presidential candidate that I was actually promoting in some way. I really like John McCain.
Yeah.
And I know Last Dance probably didn't, because he was more of a war guy than he prefers. But until he picked her, then I was all off. I was because he was so old.
He had the same thought when he realized who he picked. I guarantee it. He never said it.
You would have to think that he regretted that choice.
Oh, I'm sure he did. He never. He said no. I never regretted it. But
Sarah Palin.
Yeah, she's running.
Sarah Palin. She's running for Alaska. Yeah,
she's running for Congress in Alaska.
Oh,
she'll probably win. Who knows?
I'm not being funny. I would.
What? You would hit it?
Sarah Palin.
It's been 10 years now. Have you looked at the recents?
She's still.
Oh no, I only remember from 10 years ago.
Yeah, but you're the same age as she is.
Right. Which damn young to me.
Yeah, but her daughter's all screwed up too, though.
She got about a dozen.
We should all be
kids
concerned about that, shouldn't we? Is she on some board?
She's got a brood. She's literally got like 6 or 7 kids or 8 kids or something crazy.
How do you know all this information?
I've seen a family photo of her.
Has she really?
She adopts kids and all that sort of shit.
Oh, she's a good woman then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's had them.
So they're not blood, so it's okay if they screw up.
Yeah, it's different. Well, she's Republican. That's why it's different.
Right.
What was this whole
it's different. It's different when they do it.
I was going to say, she had that many kids, she'd have a pussy like a wizard sleeve.
Oh, come on. Do we have to go there?
Wait, wizard sleeve? I need to Google that.
No, you don't. You know what that means. You stop that. I wish I had the mute button. You'd get the mute treatment for that. For at least 10 seconds.
If you do want to look in the back chat, there is that article about that tennis tournament.
There you go. Last Dance's fingers sore from clicking that link so many times.
Oh, well.
Metal mega.
You may laugh, but I remember people laughing at me a couple of years ago about the Kung Flu at the start of it all, and it does change. So
I feel you there, Base.
Well,
somebody changed their opinion on it?
Well, yeah. A lot of people have changed their opinion on it. A lot of people who believes in Big Pharma, full stop, understand it a bit more than they did before and wish they haven't. A lot of people wish they hadn't. I'm sure, obviously people have wished they have, but that's up to them, isn't it?
One of them withdrew because of blisters on his feet.
Have you seen UK government's report that was released about your immune system after you've had 2 jabs? It was published last week. Page.
Yes, your immune system's worse after 2 jabs than 1.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Does it make your penis smaller?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the evidence. That's the pure.
Blame it on
that's the pure research evidence. That's what it's coming out. 1 jab's best. Natural immunity.
UK. So is 3 jabs better?
No.
That's worse than 2.
Yes, it's worse than 2.
I'm ready for my 4th. Give it to me.
I know. Keep fucking taking them out.
I only wish I was 50. Last Dance, you're lucky.
I'm not planning on
getting
a 4th unless my doctor recommends it.
It comes from, like you said, it's coming from the UK government now, but it's still some conspiracy theory, eh? It's funny, isn't it?
I didn't even know there was a 4th shot available.
As far as I know, it's not available.
Yeah, there is a 4th shot.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's a 4th shot. Welshman, isn't it what the 5 and 11-year-olds jabbed as well, which is in the news? They've passed it now, and they want them all jabbed. Orders.
Yeah. I had a thing off the doctor. I had the thing off the doctor said I've got to go and see the doctor, and I was like, "Fuck off, mate." They wrote a letter saying, "Oh, can we have your phone number?" And I thought, "That's the reason why you haven't got my phone number." No chance.
In the UK, do they have any mandates still for the beanbags? Do they still have anything?
Not now. In Wales, there's bits and bobs, and a bit in Scotland. But it's quite funny because they've been masking on shops and public transport in Wales and Scotland. And not in England, but the end result is more people in Scotland and in Wales were infected than there were in England, but England have had no restrictions. It's been going on like this for 4 months now.
Did you bring that shot back with you, Smokesteve?
No. I had family stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
How dare you?
So Last Dance, a good channel to look into is, like I said, I mentioned it before, that Dr. John Campbell, but the video you want to look at is the one that says Super Immunity, titled Super. I can get it for you, and he explains it all on the pure research there. That was about 3 weeks ago, and there's more evidence coming out, like Lee just said. Then there's more evidence coming out again.
Oh. There's no mandates left or anything, right? Anybody really care about COVID anymore?
Nope.
Well, they're still wanting to jab the kids. They're jabbing the kids in the UK, 5 to 11-year-olds. Why would you jab a fucking kid? Well, they got super immunity at that age.
I never got my kids the shot. I refused to do that.
Well, good for you, mate. You should. It's a personal choice, but
even the world. Even the World Health Organization says that children don't need to be jabbed. It's weird.
Yeah.
I jabbed
who?
my kid.
Even the government's own advisors, the
Very true.
JVCI, even the JVCI last year in the UK advised Boris not to jab the kids, and he said, "Well, we'll do it from 12 and up," and now they've moved it down to 11 to 5. And even their own government advisors that they pay to give them their own medical fucking choices, Boris ignored them and carried on.
I did not jab my kid. Anyone else here?
No. Well,
No,
Ava
didn't jab
did.
my kid either, and I didn't get jabbed either. I didn't.
Well,
go
Ava
for it.
did, but I think his kid was old enough to make that kind of choice, though.
I didn't jab my 31-year-old kids. They did it themselves.
Oh wow! Look at you. Woke. No, that's cool. I mean, can't.
Yeah, I always find it funny though that people can catch it like 3 times and get jabbed 3 times and catch it 3 times, and it seems to be happening quite often.
The jib jab.
The Guardian newspaper is a quite well-respected newspaper in the UK. It's a big broadsheet. And they ran an article last week saying that people that are dying of COVID in the UK, now I think it's a higher percentage than those that have that haven't been jabbed. So they've had 2 jabs, maybe even 3. They're dying if they've got underlying problems, because that's why that's the reason why you will die. So now jabbed, and yet they're dying more than the people that haven't been.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, the evidence, like you said, that you've seen and I've seen, says that
people who have gotten a jab are dying, at a higher rate for average mortality than people who haven't? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because with a natural immunity, you stay protected so far at an extended, very lower level. I can bring the graph up and everything, I can bring the timestamp up and everything, and it stays there. When you've been jabbed, you've got to keep on getting jabbed.
So you're just deleting the amount of people that didn't get jabbed, that got COVID and died.
I'm not deleting those people, right? But the natural immunity, right, that our bodies have sort of developed over tens of thousands of years, have done the job that the natural immunity does, which is pretty fucking damn good. That's why we're here today.
What is the don't?
I'm not going to go into great detail about it because you'll just all start chuckling and stuff. It's not fucking pretty, and I've said it all the way from the start of this.
I chuckle over the reasons. I like to see other people's reactions when you say stuff. It's not directly
I know.
towards you.
I think it's all my family have taken it. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't believe. As time's going on, more and more evidence is coming out to prove that there's been a lot of problems. A lot of people have been affected. Perfectly, generally, very fit people have been affected. Not the ill, not old people.
What's interesting for me, we had a situation where I didn't want my daughter to have the jab. Wife, so she's 17 at the time, and so I thought quite proud of her. She decided to book an appointment with the doctor. There was something else she needed to see her about, but while she was there, the doctor said, "Have you had your jab?" I said, "Well, I wanted to speak to you about that because Dad feels this, Mum feels this." She said, "But I've got some questions for you." She said, "Because in the past it's saying it could mess around with your periods, could make you infertile. I've heard other stories about bad reactions to it, this, that." But she said, "If I take it, can you get me that won't happen?" And the doctor turned around and went, "I can't." So
I can't. He said, "I cannot."
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
For liability reasons.
So
reasons.
Yeah. So my daughter said that I've decided that I'm going to take it. So
I cannot blame her for making that decision because,
especially if she wants kids and stuff. Because I mean, seriously, of all people, I would say to be wary is young mothers or women that will plan to get children, because it is something that's foreign that's being pumped into you that we didn't know we didn't know a lot about on the research. They just kept on green lighting it for everyone to take. Pregnant women, it's cool to take it. I mean, come on, pregnant women.
Yeah. I mean, we feel for what this dude
There's
was
been a
just
lot of
saying about
problems.
it, about his
I can
daughter.
bring up the evidence. I can bring up the evidence with all the problems with pregnant women. The evidence that was coming out at the time said it was fine. The evidence coming out 18 months later says it's fucking awful for pregnant women. And I'll bring it up. I can get it now. It's, pregnant women have been.
I don't really get why a pregnant woman would take that risk, because there's so many variables there. It seems.
Yeah.
Well, I just went to my favorite website, CNN.com. Can anybody educate me on what the "Don't Say Gay" bill is in Florida? Don't say gay bill in Florida.
I mean, I know very little about this apart from the basics, which is you're not to talk about sexuality, about gays, straights, or anything to 3 to 7-year-olds or something.
Is that really what's detailed?
Kindergarten through third grade.
Third grade is
what's third grade? Age?
It's like 10.
9.
9.
So from
9.
3 to 9,
9 or 10.
not to talk about sexuality. Well, fuck me, that's revolutionary, isn't it? That's fascist.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a good idea for teachers to talk about them, but I also don't like a law that it actually is a law that prohibits them from doing that. I just prefer it be policy at the school level.
Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, but the policy, what happens if you have a very, I hate using the word woke.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
Woke staff and all that. I don't want my first grader talking about like.
I know, I'm with you there. I hate that there's the government makes laws for every little dinky thing that you can say this, you can't say that. I just hate to see that.
But it's a last dance. To be fair, it's a war at the moment, isn't it, in the schools in America? The parents and the school authorities want to sort of, the parents, I believe, and they want to try and indoctrinate the kids and divide the parents from the kids. That's what how I see it from across the pond. And DeSantis has turned around and said, "Well, we're not going to have it in Florida, right? Because it is a battle going on, and like Topple just said, there's plenty of woke teachers talking out, and they're saying they're breaking down, saying, I can't talk about my partner. You say, well, what's your partner got to do with teaching 4-year-olds? Seriously.
Well, that's the thing is you never know where the boundaries of the law are. I just don't like laws like that.
I get what you're saying, but I think there's so much divide between the teachers and the authorities and the parents. I believe that's why he's done it like this. But it's not this like gay is bullshit that lefties are doing. It's bollocks.
Well, what kind of what were they teaching? What was the plan of teaching the kids in this grade level that is okay to accept kids that had gay parents, like a woman, man? I have no problem with that, but like, what was the curriculum?
It's not to talk about relationships and personal stuff to the kids. That's how I understand the thing. So just not talk about your
So it's basically about talking about like sex or anything, which is basically talking about like acceptance of gay people, trans, and all that.
Oh, interesting. That's really interesting, though, as Welshmen. In this country, there was an incident where, and by the way, this would have spread like wildfire if they hadn't sorted it out. There was an incident where you've got a school with mixed ones. It was in Birmingham, so it was heavily Muslim populous school. So you've got a few white children, mostly Muslim. And the criteria for the country was to talk about gay acceptance, same-sex marriages. There was virtually a riot at school from the Muslims saying that that's totally against our beliefs, and the school had to back down. Well, we're going to change the national curriculum for you guys because otherwise it could cause a label. So they just dropped the whole subject.
Yeah.
And it was like it's like there was school around the country where they're heavily Muslim populated. We're not having this being taught to our children. And yet it was national curriculum, so it gets changed for them because
Yeah.
Right. So Lee, for you, it was kind of like, well, we wanted you to drop it anyways, but not for these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That was
to a degree, you're right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, in our country, and I know British as well, but by other rules, that's the national, but we've got to change it for you. So
right,
and certain schools where it's not heavily populated, where they'll get taught. So, but and the picture is it's about integration, accepting people because that's the country you live in. So you've got to accept it. But they weren't prepared to do that. They burnt the school down. I kid you not.
Oh,
yeah, they would. And another teacher in Dudley, which is in the northeast of the country, not Dudley, sorry. It wasn't Dudley. Sorry, I can't remember the place now. Dudley's in fucking Birmingham. Anyway, sorry. Talked about Momo and mentioned about Momo. Did he mention Aisha? No, it was just Momo being a warlord and a murderer. He had
it was
to.
It was about Welshmen. It was about.
What was it about?
Actually about. You remember? It was about in France. There was the cartoon drawn. I forget what the pen was. Guy got killed. So it's about blasphemy. She gave example, or he gave an example of what that paper did. So
that's right.
They're all at the school and they want a teacher. They want to kill the teacher.
They want to behead him.
Unbelievable.
They wanted to behead him. So they protest for weeks outside.
His identity.
He said they've had to change. Yes, exactly. They have to change their identity, change the area. He's like a witness protection program guy now. He's completely after this teacher. And he wasn't even controversial, this teacher of all accounts. He was supposed to be an excellent teacher. So he can't go into teaching now. Cannot go into teaching. That's him. He's done. His family's moved. Everything's changed.
And once it was part of the curriculum, we talked to the children to teach them blasphemy. It's like, oh my God.
And the thing is, I believe he was he was very well respected, and a lot of people, really respected him as a teacher. But the funny thing is, he had no support from the council, no support from the police as such.
No.
And he was seen as the troublemaker for bringing up the subject as such. Do you know what I mean?
I do. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and maybe end the YouTube side of this.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to stay on here on live. I'll just keep everybody on the broadcast.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So we'll see what happens. And YouTube, it was a great show. See you. And we'll catch you on the other side.
Take care, Tesla and English Bottle Cap.
There you go. All the good guys.
Yeah, Tesla might be still on.
He's not available
Lee,
here.
Lee, your sound's just as bad as it was before, actually.